The last time on the wilds of Valandiir, Team Crown Collectors atop the mountains of the Taliesin Monastery in anticipation of their ride across the Ocean of Souls. You all have spent what seems to be like a day of reflection and learning what you can from the denizens of Maven's home temple of Pelor. In doing so, you discover that the leader of this temple, a rather stoic and wise Coatl named Master Zhang Wen, let you know through his body language and his appearance that this entity that you've all been sort of investigating and chasing at this point is destroying magical fanes across the world, and that is not good for creatures whose existence is mostly magical. And so Master Zhang Wen is not doing well physically. His mind is going, and in other endeavors of yours, you return from a random battle in the woods to rid the region of some strange gelatinous creature, and on your way back is kind of where we left off. I believe you guys made your way back to the temple, and you know that this morning that you have spent the night and woken up, your ship is due to arrive. I believe we left with Baranor kind of having a touching moment with one of his pups, as Apollo found himself perhaps his own pack to run with in the woods just outside the temple grounds. With a little nod and a tear, you and Luna both said goodbye to little Apollo as he took off into the woods. And as you I'm not crying, you're crying to yourself through the forest with Luna and Fenrir next to you, you looked out to the ocean between the trees as you're kind of near the ocean, the cliff's edge, and found yourselves looking at a beautiful clipper ship of royal blue sails and gold and blue, boards. There's a beautiful, some kind of bird of praise figurehead at the front. So it's not docked yet. It looks like it's got some time, so you can make your way back to the temple at your leisure. Let's go down the Discord chat and just find out where everybody's at this morning. It is morning. Everyone is rising. Baranor took off early, but as is his way. So, Baranor, is there anything you want to do as you kind of walk your way through the forest towards the temple above you?
No, I mean, I would know how far I've been, how far I am from the temple, how far we've gone from the temple. Yeah. Kind of time it to where I would get back as everyone is kind of rising to get up anyways, and just kind of stroll with Luna next to me, Fenrir, tagging along.
Fenrir's not tagging along. He is at least 20 yards ahead of you.
Well, yeah,
to the chagrin of his mother, who keeps kind of hooting at him, and he slows down, and he looks like he's definitely staying with the group, but you get the feeling he feels like he's leading you.
Yes, but there's no sense of urgency, and I've got like just a hand down, kind of, and just resting on Luna's back.
Sure.
As we're walking, and just kind of strolling back.
Okay. Go ahead and make an animal handling check.
Okay. I'm good with those.
Yeah, one would hope.
One would hope. That's a dirty 20. I'll take it.
Okay. So Luna is not dragging behind like you kind of instinctively assumed she might a little. Mm-hmm. you can tell her head is down, and you're pretty sure it's because she's deep in thought, and to a wolf can make them feel distracted. So she is hyper-focused on the trail and just kind of being like, look, I'm feeling what I'm feeling. I'm going to be militant about keeping us safe all the way back to the temple. So she's got her eyes going, her nose to the ground, but you can kind of feel that heat resonate off of her, and with an emotional charge attached to it.
Yeah, I can understand that.
And certainly you too. It's easy to lose yourself in the current mission to get back to the temple as rangers. Kind of, you become one with the forest, and that's what you do. You kind of with Luna, you kind of become invisible on your way through the underbrush, with Fenrir being the only one stomping over twigs and galloping through the brush on your way back up to the front steps. Akiva sees you, gives a reluctant snort, steps aside, and the doors to the temple open up. These large brass doors. Kravish.
Yo.
You and I believe Maven wake up, or at least come to at the same time. Perhaps Kravish half an hour prior, or after, I should say.
I sleep late.
Yeah. What do the two of you do as you kind of get the feeling like, all right, it's time to get up and get ready. We're leaving pretty soon.
Well, I'll make probably the last use of some good hot water for a few days, and take a good bath and get everything cleaned up, and
okay,
get my best looking, explorer looking outfit on.
Gotcha. So, Maven, as you exit the room, or are you staying in the room until Kravish is ready to leave?
I would probably head out. It's going to take him a second, and then probably head out, do all the basic morning routine stuff, at a temple anyway, where you would go and you have the morning prayers, and then you go and you have breakfast and get ready for the day.
Well, you're up and at 'em pretty early, I would say. In your chosen traveling monk garb, which, just putting it out there, we can get to what you look like later, but you have your choice of really any radiant Pelorian monk garb that you'd like. You've kind of got right now sort of a mishmash of what fit, because of, in the Hells you wore kind of bronze armor and didn't really have time to grab too much at Stonehelm Keep that you would if you had time like this. So, knowing you're going to, by the way, everyone knows you're going to a warm environment. Baraxos and the Morov Islands are a tropical location, and you all sort of learned that, maybe behind the scenes. So, packing both seaworthy and jungle-worthy attire is probably recommended. And so you find yourself up and dressed and ready. You grab maybe a healthy scoop of oatmeal at the mess hall, and then head over to the quiet, as it is early. I'm going to say it's got to be at least 5 in the morning for Maven to sort of feel it's all right. Any later, and I'll feel like I'm sleeping in kind of timeline.
Yeah.
The quiet chapel, which is not the main sort of audience cathedral worship area. This is sort of an offshoot for smaller congregations, and it's basically just a large bamboo woven floor with a burning globe at the back of the room, and there's room to kneel. You do see around there's maybe dozens of stacks of books and scrolls of key literature. But this is something that you know what you want to say and what you want to do, and you kneel at the the warm glow of this brass globe, this hollow globe that's on fire. And behind your shoulder, you hear, "So?" You smell vanilla and lilac enter the air.
Hello, how are you this morning?
Tash kind of rounds the corner, and you've always been a little more light-footed than her, but her footsteps are surprisingly quiet, even on the bamboo. And she kneels right down next to you. You don't open your eyes. You can feel her kneel right down next to you, and you can feel her kind of assuming a Zen-like pose, although you were always complimented more on your form than her. She remains quiet for a moment until you kind of hear her with a sigh. Well, this is going to be a big one, ain't it?
Oh, yeah. It's I've had a series of big ones recently.
Yeah, girl, you need to slow down.
I don't know.
Well, you got everything you need?
I think so. I hope so.
You always say that.
Yeah. Always worried that I'm forgetting something.
These folks you're with, they really worth the squeeze?
I think so.
Well, and she kind of like stretches. You feel like she's like a cat. She's had enough. She's ready to get up and move more. She kind of stands up and you hear her twirl her quarterstaff behind you, which kind of breaks your concentration enough where you kind of open your eyes and look at her a little. She sort of twirls her staff, but she kind of swings her hips. That silver flim-flam you call a boyfriend seems pretty capable.
Oh, hon. You have no idea.
What about the rest of them? It may be you need them to survive, but more than likely they'll need you. Just be sure about them, because, honey, you know, the light of Pelor shines on the backs of heroes and gravestones alike.
That's surprisingly deep coming from you.
Oh, please. I have my moments, just like you have moments that seem normal.
Normal? What's that?
And she kind of pushes your shoulder a little bit. And she walks up and gives you just a wraparound hug. She's ropey, she's toned and grabby like a monkey, but she lets go and rests a hand on the side of your head and plants a kiss on your cheek, whispering in your ear. I hear that his light's been shining on you, Shug. We always knew you were something different. No matter what the bullies made you think when we were young. You come back to us now, when all this is done, you hear?
I understand. I will.
And she kind of squeezes your shoulder one last time, and you kind of start to turn back around to sort of resume your meditation, and her footsteps kind of disappear. Iona.
I mean, I've already done my various morning routine things, checking over my gear. I am probably going to take a last short walk just around the temple, because I could, there's every chance that I could sort of try meditating or something, but I'm just worried about what could happen if I do. So instead, I'm just taking a walk and just taking in what I see. Because it is the temple is nice to look at. So I'm taking that walk, and then once I'm done, I'm going to make sure I am by the gate in plenty of time to head off with the others.
as you sort of, grab something simple to eat, some grains, some fruits, some nuts, kind of shove a little in a pouch in your pack and maybe throw a couple mouthfuls down, you see kind of a little commotion over by what you all have passed many times at this point, this huge kind of central statue set up, this art installation, and it's various races, dwarves, humans, dragonborn, and apeling, things like that, and they all seem to be in various monkish robes, all sort of standing around the foundation of a huge armored figure with a flaming globe for a head. And you see this commotion as there are monks sort of passing in and out. It's not really well traveled, but there are some young initiates into the order. Probably no older than 12. Any of them. There's a little rhinoceros, a kind of humanoid, standing there. This little tiny pudgy belly and a little stubby horn. There's a tabaxi child, a human child, an elven child, and things like that, all surrounding what looks like a sort of a generic adventurer. He's a blonde human with brown eyes. He's got his hands up and he's sort of waving his hands around, and all of a sudden he switches into that of like a drow human woman, or drow female, with white long ponytailed hair, big red eyes, kind of leather garb, and then he switches again into something of a half orc with a big broad chest. And that's when you walk by, and Daunt quickly switches back into his kind of dark-skinned ponytail persona, and he's just like, Iona! And you see him immediately get almost tugged to his knees as all of them are like, again! He's like, easy. Daunt's got places to go now, yeah. And he kind of taps them all on the head and ruffles their hair and rubs the rhino boy's horn for good luck, and just sort of steps towards you, and he's like, "You're up early."
Habit. Yeah.
Well, all packed up, ready to go?
I've never been on a ship before. Boat, yes. Ship is something new.
And he kind of, you see him sort of half roll his eyes like, it's nothing. It's just a big boat. It's got more sails, perhaps, but it's, should not be too hard for you to get your sea legs, so to speak. I've been on a few ships in my time. It's, it's, don't want to exaggerate, but it's an experience the first time you see the ocean. Have you ever seen the ocean, Iona?
I mean, the view from climbing the top of the mountain would be my first proper look at it. And too much of my life too far east to see it before.
It's one thing to see it from the land. It's quite another to see it on the waves themselves. Beautiful, yes. But different when you're actually out there. I'm glad to be here when you see it for the first time, if I may be so bold.
Do you suppose there'll be a point when we're far enough between the two areas of land that we will only see this thing?
Well, it's a 3-day journey across the ocean of souls. I would say it wouldn't take long at all before the land disappeared behind us, and there was nothing but the great blue beyond. But you'll see plenty of that. What I'm interested to show you is the sunsets. The sunsets on the ocean are magical. Brings tears to your eyes if you're into that kind of thing. The ocean for me, it was freedom. The first time I saw my sunset on the waves, it brought me to Valandiir. I wonder where it will bring you.
So did you not come from Valandiir then?
No, I come from the far east. I came to what you Imperials call Ugnasil. Terrible place. But my trip across the ocean, the Eurus Sea to the east, it's not as nice and calm as the Ocean of Souls.
And I just sort of look down at her badge, like she's still not quite sure, used to having it, and says, well, I suppose I'm only Imperial by injection.
I mean, no disrespect. It's been some years since I met someone who wasn't from the Empire, but wasn't from the Far East either. The free cities of Valen and the great Valen Meadow divides civilizations in half quite effectively.
Where I grew up, there wasn't a great deal going on aside from my temple. It was a town, and that was the most that could be said of it, really.
Yes, I've spent my time in small villages here and there. It's been quite a journey, to say the least. Very diverse, various environments. But small villages, even in the swamp, they have their charm.
I'm not sure if mine had charm, but it had its moment.
You see him kind of twirl he's got this side red cape that kind of hangs from his right shoulder. Right now it's all the way back, so it kind of looks like a normal cape. He slides it and flips it around his shoulder, and you see him kind of ruffle his clothes a little, and he says, well, what say we join the others and see if we can't find you a little village worth visiting for once.
With this group, I have seen plenty, and I will see plenty more.
And he kind of, in a friendly, polite way, he offers you his elbow, kind of in a real gentleman-like way, which you are not used to at all. And go ahead and just give me a rolling insight check.
28.
28. Yeah, he's pretty easy to read. He's, you kind of just get a warm feeling next to him. He seems kind of interested in sort of experiencing all of this with you. He, almost like if you've done something 100 billion times, it becomes monotonous. But if you're with someone that, that's never done it before, you sort of get to relive it a little bit through them. You get that feeling from Daunt that he's been all over the place, and traveling is no big deal to him. But now it seems he's a little pep in his step as he kind of walks with you towards a common area where everybody would likely gather. Kravish, you are probably next as the next riser. Maven is, you get the feeling that she kind of squeezed your hand and kissed your forehead earlier, but you were like half asleep, and she's gone by this point.
Okay, so like I said, after my morning constitutional, getting all baited and everything, I will head on out down for some breakfast.
Yeah, in the hall, you smell vanilla and lavender, as well as tiny little footsteps twirl around you as you go to, head towards the main hallway to the mess. And she sort of grabs your arm and says, "Hey, Kravish, can I have a word with you?"
And who is this again?
This is Tash.
Tash, you said? Oh, okay. I'm like, sure, okay. Tash, right?
And she kind of holds for a moment, kind of looking you in the eye, and then kind of giggles, as if you forgot my name. Listen, you seem a friendly fellow with a lot to to offer. My girl Maven seems to really like you, and I really like her. And normally I'd kind of give you the old, if anything were to happen to her, I'll kill you and all that gobbledygook. But with you, I don't think that's a problem. You seem pretty, able to handle yourself in a pinch, from what I've heard. And she kind of looks at your armor and your weapon at your hip. She's like, well equipped too. So instead of giving you some veiled thread like a big sister would, I just want to wish you good luck. And you see a tear start to roll from the middle of her right eye. Just make sure she comes out of all this in one piece.
My dear, I've already been to hell and back once for her, and I'd gladly do it again.
And she's kind of lets another tear drop and gives kind of a laugh. Yeah. She's been there and worse. And frankly, I'm glad she's got y'all watching her back. And she's going to kind of blow you a little kiss, and by then Baranor comes through the main entrance to the mess, and she blows Baranor a kiss, gives him a wink, and she just kind of flirts with everybody in the group. Yuno's down here, and she just kind of puts a hand on his cheek too, and she sort of flirts with everybody on her way out, and just twirls away as she gets swept up in the crowd leading out of the room. Koza, you are last to rise, and
I wake up, stretch out, get out of bed, sort of rub my eyes, get myself situated, and try to rejoin the group, see what the current plan of action is.
Yep. You see Kravish. He looks like he's kind of beat you down the hall, so you kind of get yourself all ready, wipe the cobwebs out of your eyes, make your way to the mess just in time to see Tash just sort of say goodbye to a couple people. She kind of makes eye contact with you, sidles over on her way out, rubs your belly, rubs her fingers through your fur. Sorry, had to do it, and kind of twirls away. As you all sort of meet together in the mess. Breakfast is simple this morning. It looks like the monastery has a lot of work to do. You see a lot of people carrying buckets in the background, so maybe they're just going to eat something easy and quick. So a bowl of oatmeal it is.
Well, I scarf one of them down pretty quick, and
I imagine Koza scarfs down 4 bowls of oatmeal. He's a big boy.
But I don't want to take from anybody, so I'll stick to two bowls.
Yeah, there you go. Just put a couple extra strawberries in there. Yeah, you see Daunt and Iona enter the room, and you all just kind of seem to be in the same place, and grabbing a quick bowl of oatmeal on your way if you can, or something else.
Chomp, 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 chew, 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 gulp.
Yeah.
Burp.
Yeah.
We all planning on stopping for supplies before we head out.
Well, it's a little late to think of that now. The boat gets here in an hour.
Well,
what kind of
I'm
supplies?
assuming we've already done that.
What kind of supplies would one need on a ship?
well, I was fancying maybe going into town for a pirate ship hack, because why not? I just wanted an excuse to go into town.
A tricorn?
Yeah, something like that.
Or a French
Pirate
pie
ship,
corn.
why not?
I don't know what these words are I'm saying. Never mind.
I don't know. You grew up in the Jasperwood. You've probably been to the edge of, that portion of the world. Seen boats.
Yes, but I've never been on one.
No. I think
any of us been on a boat?
Firmly planted on the ground. I think the trip across the lake over by the our home is like the most that I've been on the water.
The fishing trip.
Where you got attacked by a giant red alligator.
Yeah.
And then the fishing trip with the halfling mayor.
I think I still have that. I think I still have that mini.
Oh my god!
Hold on, let me find it.
It was more like a Nessie, wasn't it, than an alligator?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Had that one when we were in
The
the
baby
swamp.
back.
Yeah, I thought you meant across the Bogmother's Lake, but yes, I do definitely have Gunter's mini.
I remember Gunter.
Yeah, Gunter was a big sea snake. He was like Ukatoa without all the eyes.
Yeah. No, I was not here for the alligator crossing, I don't think.
I don't think you were either.
No, I don't think you were there either. That would be something Kravish and Koza and even would remember. Yep. Daunt would remember that, actually.
Daunt would remember that.
Yeah, you could reminisce about the big red alligator. But
I don't believe them.
You don't believe
Doesn't
that?
exist.
Yeah.
You don't talk about the ROUSs either.
I don't think they
it was definitely huge, but it was an alligator, so it was mostly tail. So, but yeah, big alligator. Anyway, yeah, you all know that the ship is. It looks like the ship was kind of coming through up the coast. Baranor, you noticed, and you imagine that it's not like it's going to get there in 20 minutes and be ready to go. It's you're not in a rush. No one's rushing you. That's the feeling you get collectively.
Well, I'm heading into town if anyone would like to join me.
I'll go with him.
Huh?
So I'll go with him.
Yeah, we'll be on dry land for a few days.
There is no town, and you're all heading in that direction anyway. It's a really small fishing village, and Maven, you know the way down the mountain to the port. It's a very small port. You know that it doesn't get fancy traffic. It's a fishing village. There are merchant and cargo vessels that do dock here and take the main road that splits and goes south down the continent to the Dagger Coast, and further north up to Morrow's Port, and further east. There are ways out of this region, and this is a very small kind of port of entry. And you know that there's a nautical supplies general goods shop down there. You've been in it a couple of times. You bought some rope there a few times, things like that. And but also you also feel like you're not in any rush. You don't owe this crew, the ship's crew, prompt, speedy arrival. They said morning, and it's morning. So, if there's nothing else that you would like to do at the temple, speak now.
I'm good.
Okay. The cooks in the mess kind of give you a nod. They all know you're leaving. There are several monks that you've seen around the grounds and have been present during meals and things to sort of see you and put a hand on your shoulder, wish you good luck, things like that. It's very polite, kind of a send-off from the temple population. And as you approach the double doors A couple of monk guards go to open it, and Maven, you feel a large, crystalline skinned hand on your shoulder, just a tap. It says, "Hey, Firebug."
Yes.
You turn and see Shard, and he's got about 20 students behind him, all in training gi, and he says, "Oh, I'm glad I caught you. You were just going to leave without saying goodbye, were you?"
I knew you were teaching. I want to interrupt the class.
And he said, "Well, I'm between classes now, and thought I'd catch you." And he almost bows a little to come eye to eye with you, or kind of hunches a bit, and he says, "This mission to the Morov Islands, it's something you can handle. I mean, I've sent you on worse missions than that, I think. Just to find a city, it's not exactly slaying a giant beast or, making political peace with two warring tribes. But it is going into uncharted territory for those of us. So you just be careful, remember your training, and pray for the light. It will find you in the darkness and in the jungle." And he kind of gives your shoulder a little side tap with his fist. He goes, "You're a tough one, though. They won't see you coming." And he just grabs you and shoves you into his chest as you feel a little wet tear kind of drip from his cheek onto your ear. And, his giant brass shoulder pad just sort of squish into your nose a little bit. And he just sort of releases you and gives you another nod and a little giggle as he says, "All right, students, we're going to be assuming the second kata stance." And you see them all just sort of follow him back into the training grounds.
I'll miss you too.
And the doors split open where you see Akiva not facing out, watching the road, but turning to face you all. Her arms, her massive, huge, swollen, muscled arms folded in front of her. Looks like she's probably been up even earlier than you were, Maven. And you see her just immediately lock eyes with Maven with this stoic sort of 1,000-yard scowl. And as you kind of approach, you see her kind of give you all a quick glance, almost like she's kind of gauging the perimeter. She's always searching for threats to neutralize. And she kind of rests her eyes back down on you, Maven, as you approach her within a foot, and you stop. And you hear her snort a little bit, and she says, "You learn some new moves. It's good to see the capability growing in you, girl." And she, unfolds her massive arms, and they kind of make like a whoosh sound. And she takes a step forward, even closer, maybe mere inches from you. And she puts a hand on your shoulder and doesn't press down with her normal, Lenny strength. It's actually surprisingly gentle. And you hear her kind of exhale a little with a twinge of concern. "It was fun sparring with you. Fun for me. And I fear it was fun for you too.
Oh, wait.
Let's spar again when you come back, girl, all right?"
Okay. I think we can make that happen.
And she just kind of rubs an imaginary stab wound in her shoulder and says, "Let's do it without the sharp stuff next time, Doa."
Okay.
And she steps aside, her massive frame towering over all of you. Steps aside and grants you entry into the wilds. There's sort of a cobblestone path that leads to the long set of steps down to sort of surface level, where you will find the path through the woods that is more traveled and carved than the route that Baranor took to get to the gel monster, you find the path that leads down the mountain to the fishing village.
As we're going down the path, I'm going to come to Maven, and I'm going to give her a small pouch with some earth in it. It's like, here, some ground from the central courtyard there. Just so you can always remember where you came from.
She has no idea what to say. You have made her speechless.
Ooh.
Thank you.
Kravish gets inspiration.
She might cry a little bit. Thank you. I love
You're welcome.
All right, so I will need a marching order. Maven, you know that this is roughly an hour journey down the mountain at a pretty decent clip, not running, but, hiking with purpose, sort of a speed.
Baranor's out in front.
Okay.
I'll take the rear.
All right. I'm going to be probably playing for today, which is fine. I'll have him in the middle. Daunt will be wherever. Actually, Daunt's going to trail next to Koza and be one or two people away from, the middle. So, near Iona and Kravish or not Kravish, but and so I just need give me a survival check from Baranor and a perception check from Kravish.
Survival. Okay. Well, that would depend on how reliable talent works.
What do you mean? How does it work?
Well, okay. Reliable talent.
I think you can use it now, right?
Well, so it's an automatic thing, really. So what is reliable talent? Where are we here? Reliable talent. Okay. I just had it. There we go. Whenever you make an ability check that uses one of your skills, your skill or tool proficiencies, you can treat a D20 roll of 9 or lower as a 10. However, roll to 1.
Well, you're not. It's not like you die instantly of starvation. Like this is a survival check. It's you roll low.
It's a 1.
Yeah.
But if I go with reliable talent, it's a 23.
Okay, let's do that. That's what it's for.
All right.
That's what it's for, folks.
I just didn't want to know if you wanted a flavor drill, something like that.
We'll say this. On your way through the woods, it's only an hour hike. You spent longer to get to the bless you, the Oblex lair. It took longer for you to get there than it is going to be to get down to this mountain village. So we'll say that at first, Luna and Fenrir are both. Fenrir's off trail like every 5 seconds, and chasing this and chasing that. Half of it's not even real, and Luna has to go chasing after him, and you kind of get distracted getting after your dog a little, and you guys get off trail to the point where Maven, you're like, where are we going? This is not the way.
You need to go the other way.
I know which way I'm going.
Are you sure? Because we're going the wrong way. I lived here for like 50 years, my guy. I know which way we should be going.
This is a shortcut.
No,
it does seem like you've been chasing the wolf.
I'm gonna go the way that we need to go, and you can either follow the guy with the wolves who's running around aimlessly, or you can follow me. Make your choice.
And somehow accidentally we get there faster by the wolves.
Don't start with me.
Daunt is going to obviously volunteer to follow Maven's instruction, but without too much trouble, you do find yourselves emerging down kind of a steep embankment that looks very well. Right here, there's a lot of cart gouges in the trail. It looks like several paths may split off around here, but it all leads down to this huge sort of Thermopylae, if you remember 300, this huge double cliff on either side of you passage that leads down, cuts through this huge rock wall where this mountain root foot emerges, and head down, and you can smell sea spray, and you can hear a distant sound of a bell. Not sure if it's a church bell. It sounds smaller than that. And you don't really hear much other than a little bit of shouting, not in anger, but like people working. And you round a corner and you find a somewhat familiar setting. It reminds you of Highstill a little bit, although this is a smaller place, and you don't see, it doesn't have the same kind of aesthetic as Highstill, but you do see a signpost with a arrow pointing to this place, and you see Krennan's post with an arrow towards you, or towards the ocean, and an arrow leading where you came, Taliesin Monastery.
Okay, so, we've already been that way. So, I guess we go this way.
Yeah. So, those of you searching for supplies, go ahead and make an investigation check. Maven, you can kind of help them out where they need to go, because like I said, you've been to this place before.
Yep. Everybody gets the help action from Maven.
Okay. So we can do investigation. We can do perception, persuasion, but let's get a couple rolls going here.
Okay. Just going to look for a couple of just some regular rations, maybe some like little treats that I'm not going to be able to find on the boat.
Okay, so there are several, there's fishmongers, and some people are, there's stalls selling rope, and, various, char-broiled meat on a stick. Not a lot of those, but you do find, there is a general store. It's called the Nautical Knot. Mm-hmm. And it's got kind of a large, very elaborate, elven kind of knot work. This hanging, what a monkey ball is when you put a paracord into a sphere. It's like this elaborate shape, only it's a little flatter, and it's a lot more elegant as this rope work over the front door. And there's a little anchor, and it's crossed with what looks like a cutlass. And it says the Nautical Knot under it.
Cool.
So, if you want outdoor food, it's 1 silver a ration. Okay. Buy as many as you want, up to, we'll say, 30.
How about 5?
All right. That's easy enough to do. Okay. Does anybody else want to shop along the outside, or just go to the general store? What are we thinking as a group?
I'm also wanting to see if there's any kind of a waterproof log or something like that.
A waterproof log.
Yeah, a tome so I can write in there, so if it gets wet or something.
Oh. I see. A waterproof log. I thought you meant like a literal
Tree?
waterproof. Yeah.
I was like, why are we carving furniture? Like,
we don't want to get wet. Yeah, no. So that would definitely be found probably in the general store. There's no like dedicated stationary store here at Crannon's Post. It's very limited in your selection of, diverse storefronts. But
Cool.
yep, not hard at all. Okay, so who all is going to the store?
I am.
Okay. I'm just trying to.
I'll go to the store.
Okay. Quick question. Just for my own edification, where are we sitting as far as everyone's personal gold? Obviously, I don't have access to the party funds or the party account because Yuno's got it, and Kenny's not here. But where are we sitting? Where's our upper limit here?
okay.
Well, I've got a. Oh yeah, really, anything shouldn't cost more than about 40 gold. We'll be fine.
Here's the thing. I didn't have any of my money when we went to the hills.
You did what now?
I said I didn't have any of my money when I left for the hills.
And Maven's never carried any money.
Maven doesn't really have that much money, but like... zero is where I'm at.
Zero, gee whiz.
I for some reason have 11 gold in my inventory. I don't know where that came from.
Okay, well then I'm gonna say as a big brother move, Shard palmed you a small cylindrical container with 10 platinum in it.
Oh, thank you. Okay, so that's how much money I have.
Maybe you got the gold from the bodies in the lair of the thing we killed, because I know some people got money from it. That might be the source of your mysterious gold.
My random 11, I was like, why do I have... That's a weird number to just have in inventory.
I have upwards of 1,000.
Whoa.
Why do you need so much money? What are you doing with it?
Because Joe's shit is expensive.
I got roughly about 500.
Okay, Dawn's sitting pretty at 650.
I get 100.
And yeah.
Does my big brother load me money?
is ambiguously wealthy.
Shocking.
He has all the money that you don't have.
He has all of my money.
Although, I'm going to say this. All of you observant folks do definitely get to watch, awkward... And I get to do this because Kenny's not here. Awkwardly walk around and pulling at his collar a little tight and avoiding eye contact because everyone he looks at gives him this, you ain't from around here kind of a look as he walks through town with this dragging Dracula cloak.
He just can't stick out.
Yeah, I can't express to you guys.
Dude, you want to tone down the spooky level just a scooch while we're out here?
He's like, sometimes I forget how weird it looks. And he's going to actually fold his little pointed collar down a little and give it some semblance of just kind of trying to blend in. But, the nautical knot receives you. You walk in, and it's about the size of like a 7-Eleven. It's like obviously very nautical themed. There is what looks like a very large, burly human with kind of brown hair with long, puffy mutton chop sideburns, and a kind of a tousled, graying mop of hair on top. He's wearing a blue and white striped shirt and he's got kind of these bulging muscles as he holds what looks like a thick steel anchor over his shoulder across the store, and he plants it down next to a couple of harpoons. There in the whole store, you see kind of a general goods quality of diversity in stock. There's hanging rope in spools. There's what look like little hand hooks all in this like little shelf bin. There's some clothing at the back. It looks like there's some black leather high boots and several sets of white canvas sort of pants and trousers, things like that. There's a few hats at the back on these little hat stands that sort of line the top of a shelf. There's rows and rows of kind of tools, and you see like crowbars and hammers and mallets and large shears and things like that. There's a little bit of barrels stuffed with like dried goods, grains, jerkies, nuts, berries, things like that. And he just kind of notices all of you, and he stops dead in his track. He's about 6'5", probably 320 pounds, and he just stops dead in his track and says, "Can I help you?"
I give it a little shove to Koza since he's the one that printed this to begin with.
Yes. I'd like a hat.
And he just kind of he looks up at you. You're the only one that's taller than he is. And he's like, do you now? Let's see if I've got what you need. And he kind of is looking at the top of your head as you approach. And he takes you over to this area in the back where there's like hanging jackets and shirts and vests and pants and shoes, buckle shoes, a couple pairs of those, and some boots. And up on top, he brings this huge display down onto an empty table in the middle where there's a couple of like cushion seats. Looks like you could probably try on boots there. And he says, "Well, let's see if I've got what you're after." And he says, What kind of hat are you looking for? I'm afraid I don't have helmets or any sort of protective gears, aside from maybe a leather cap.
Just a simple tricorner will do.
And he goes, a tricorn. Well, I can certainly outfit you there, just not quite sure. And he takes this black, it's almost a dark brown tricorn hat. It's three-pointed hat. Very reminiscent of the Confederate army, not Confederate, the colonial army back in the day. And he props it up on your head. He goes, "Would you mind crouching down a little more, sir?" And you do, yeah. And you sit. You're sitting, but he needs you to crouch down a little more. So he places it on your head, and your head is huge. I'm just going to say it. Your head is enormous. So it doesn't sit like down on your skull to your ears like it has to sit kind of cockeyed and a little bit further back. But he says, "There," and he looks like he's like stretching the headband of it as much as possible, and just to kind of grab a third of your skull with it. He says, "Well, 1 second here," and he's going to grab a strip of leather and a very thick, meaty needle, and he's going to string it, and he's going to run this thread through the side of it and slip it around and form a little knot. And he says, "Well, there you are. That should keep it on your head." And he like pulls it tight, and it's like he ties a quick little knot that you look like you can kind of slide up and down to tighten things. He says, "Well, what do you think?" And he spins around a little mirror, and doesn't look half bad. You got a little tricorn hat on your head.
I'll take it. How much?
Oh, 5 silver.
Easy. I give him a gold.
Says, "Oh, thank you very much, sir. Is there anything else you needed?" And he kind of spies over your shoulder, and he says, "Right, If you want to try that, you'll have to ask. And you see him looking at where Daunt is, and Daunt has this. It looks like he's pulling some kind of a rolled. It looks like a stick of dynamite, but it's made of like canvas, and there's like a little metal wick that's poking out. And he goes, "All right, just taking a look at the wares." Is there anything else anybody wants from this store?
Is there anything else that is looking interesting, like it might be useful?
Well, I mean, the grappling hooks look pretty cool. To you. It's a relatively simple black steel, 4-pronged grappling hook about the size of a baseball, and a little bit bigger than that. And they've got kind of a little metal loop at the back, and you'd have to purchase rope to go with it. It looks like they're just selling the hooks. Baranor, you see 2 what look like cutlass-shaped daggers. They don't match. They are of different style. And they look fine. They don't look mastercrafted or anything. You definitely have like 12 daggers way better than these as far as quality. There's a little kind of a quaint charm to their simplicity. It looks like they're probably mass manufactured by wherever they came from. And Iona, you find something on the kind of the dry goods area of the shop. There are herbs hanging, and you smell one of them. I need you to make a medicine check.
Okay. But if it's straight poison, I can always identify it. So
You can smell immediately that this is medicinal.
okay, right. That is a 20 on the medicine check.
Okay, you find a what's known as a shell root. And it's sort of this tuber-looking vegetable, and it is something that settles the stomach. And you know that you've never used it because it usually only it's used to settle the stomach of like motion sickness or sea sickness. And since you've never been on the ocean, you've never had need of it. But you read about it in one of your kind of poison books that, had like a chapter on actually helpful things. And this just kind of catches your eye. It looks like he's got a generous inventory of that. You also notice you don't see any poisonous herbs. I'll just make that clear. But you do see other medicinal herbs that, if purchased with proficiency in medicine, could probably be used to make like a little portable batch of good berries or something like that, or with that kind of benefit.
Okay. So the tubers, do they need any kind of treatment, or are they in sort of a state where they can they can just be taken as they are?
You could. You've never eaten it yourself. You do know that the very short and brief description of the benefits of this plant is that they are typically shaved, and that those shavings are steeped into a tea. But you imagine you could probably chomp on it and probably work.
Okay, I'm going to look around at the others and saying, okay, who here gets seasick or hasn't yet found out if they do?
I don't know. I haven't been on the water.
I'm going to raise Baranor's hand as well as myself. But,
Baranor's hand is already in the air.
Yeah, like I've never really.
I've never been on the water, so I think I'd get seasick too.
Yes.
Everybody's barfing on the shit.
I'm farming this scene for content. Daunt is going to surprisingly step forward and say, well, while I've been to all kinds of places, The first few hours on the waves can be a little unsettling. I'll take one too.
Alright, so I am going to buy, I'm just going to buy enough for the whole party since,
Okay.
like, Yuno's yet to speak up. I think Maven's yet to speak up. I may as well just get enough for the whole party.
So, yeah, that's fine. That's going to be... We'll just make it an even 10. They're 2 copper apiece. And you do know that each of these routes, they're varying sizes, but not by much, that you could probably get 3 rations of tea out of each one. And we'll just say, for sake of brevity, that you know that 1 ration lasts, all day. It has a way of kind of staving off those feelings of nausea all day. So, is going to be like, yeah, I'll take 1, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, what I might do is I will also get enough for the return journey if we return by sea. So
Okay.
I will calculate, enough for all of the party. Is it sort of we need it for the first day, or is it that we need it for each day of the journey?
Well, you know that after the next day, if you're going to get it, this would be worn off. So it's like I said, it's got 3 uses per route, and each use is good for a 24-hour period.
Okay. Okay, so I'm going to get enough for basically 6 days on the sea for each of us, and I'll subtract that one side.
Okay. Yeah, they're 2 copper apiece. They're cheap, and you buy him almost out of stock. You kind of grab a bushel of these things, and he just sort of wraps them in a wax paper and ties it with a brown string. So that's what? That's 7 times 3 times 2. No, 7 times 2. Yeah. So 14 of these things times 2, 28 copper, 2.8 silver. No problem.
Yeah, that is fine. So I'll subtract that from what I've got, and then I'm going to say, there's some things that I could probably use my medicine kit. I call it a medicine kit. It is technically the same as a herbalism kit. It's just that it's got some extra stuff for poison.
Right.
Don't get me wrong, it's a poison kit. I'm lying. And I think that with my medicine kit, I could probably make a few things that would be similar to a good berry. Do we think we're going to need that, or are we good for rations?
Yeah, I don't know where you guys stand on your ration inventory, but there are 2 or 3 barrels of consumables. What you think, guys?
It wouldn't hurt.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got 3 or 4 barrels of dried goods. I don't care. You can mix and match and make your own little recipes or whatever, but there's enough here to buy tens of thousands of rations. So it's really however much you want to buy worth of rations, and we'll say it's again 2 copper a pop.
Okay.
I'll take a silver's worth.
Okay. 10 trail mix for you.
Baron will also take 10.
10 trail mix for Baranor. Daunt is going to abstain. He's like, I think we'll find enough food on the way. But, I don't know. And he kind of he picks up a piece of jerky and he smells it and he goes, fish. And he tosses it back in.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually good for rations, so I think I'll abstain as well.
Yeah, Yuno's not touching this stuff.
I'll get a couple.
Yeah.
I am actually, just in case, I may buy a dagger, just like a basic dagger. I've got my sacred dagger for,
Okay.
poisoning purposes, but I'm just getting just like
I need an insight check from Baranor, and I need a persuasion check from Iona. You're not persuading him anything per se, but make it anyway.
Okay. I got
See.
19 for the persuasion that I'm not even doing.
Okay. Baranor, too late to stop her. You watch Iona grasp one of the daggers that was like right next to you. But Iona, you hold this dagger. It's made of just basic steel. It's brand new, but it does have some like travel wear and tear. Like it's been moved from a crate to a drawer to a shelf to this place. Maybe it's changed hands 1 or 2 times, but the edge is pretty pristine. It is shaped like a miniature cutlass, although the handle is much longer and the blade is a little more robust. But it does have a slight curve to it and a small little half hand guard. Let me just grab you a price. It's probably going to be something like 5 gold or something simple like that. It's not a lot for a dagger because it is a standard dagger. There's nothing special about it. It's not mastercrafted. He doesn't sell any magical artifacts here.
It's like a knife.
And yeah, it's 2 gold.
Okay, yeah. I may hold off. And it is purely because the cutlass-shaped dagger is not Iona's style. She's thinking maybe I should get a dagger, but she's not deeply obsessed with style. But I've realised this is actually a line that she wouldn't cross.
You do see several other pointed objects there. He's got a whole like miniature barrel of pitons, which is like a climbing spike. And if you want, I'll treat that like a dagger. It's just a length of steel with a loop at the end of it. Just saying. Those are very, very sort of rugged and wrought iron steel shaped. There's no elegance to those.
Yeah, I think I'm okay actually. I think I'm all right.
All right. Okay. Looks like Daunt is going to. He's going to grab. Screw it. He's going to grab a 50-foot length of rope. As he doesn't have any with him, and he says he figures going to the jungle might be good to have some explorer's gear. And he is going to lay down the whopping 4 silver. However, will he afford it? Is there anything anybody else would like to pick up while you're here? It sounds like everybody's good. He doesn't have any potions. He doesn't have any. He doesn't have any fancy weaponry. He's no armor at all.
How about maps?
He does have maps. He kind of lights up a little and brings you over. First of all, he says, "Please leave your dog outside."
Yeah.
That's what he says when you first get there. Unfortunately, no dogs allowed.
Okay. Luna, stay outside. Guard the door.
She kind of gives you a consistent roll of the eyes, although she's been in this situation before.
Yeah.
And she's kind of in a little bit of a down mood, so she's just going to stand at the door and make sure nobody enters behind you. It's like shop's closed while they're here.
Yeah. That was my intent.
Yeah. So, maps. He brings you over to around the front desk. You do see maybe 3 dozen rolled pieces of parchment shoved in this kind of like large cylinder holder. He pulls them all out and he says, "Well, any particular area of interest?"
So probably the coast, like the coastal area. Where's the islands we're going to?
All right, I'm going to put everybody on the map just so we can look at it.
Yeah.
All right, map on roll 20, folks.
Yeah. So we're going.
You guys are here, or no? You guys are. Hold on, that is not what I want. You guys are here.
Yeah.
You guys want to go?
Yes.
It is.
Maybe a map of the Dagger Coast and a map of the Morov Islands.
Yeah, you can get a map of, I'll say, pretty detailed as far as, it kind of outlines villages and ports and stuff that you didn't know were there. There's not many, but there's like there's no ports of entry. That's why you're here, between like here and Morosport up here.
Yeah.
But there's like little villages and stuff dotted around the hallowed grasslands that, you kind of knew were there, but never really been there. It's pretty far into the Empire. The Dagger Coast also, what you know about the Dagger Coast, because you grew up in the Jasper Woods, it is basically kind of like a it's not a pirate haven, but it's kind of lawless out there. The Jasper Wood itself isn't like heavily patrolled, because it's it's almost as big as the Garden of Mist, and most of the Garden of Mist is not patrolled either. So on the coast of the Empire, there tends to be a little bit of lawlessness along the peninsulas. There's lots of places to sneak around and hide. And those of you with any kind of knowledge of the criminal element in the Empire, you know that they are beset by pirates, just like any other coastal region would be, and some of them might come from this area. The Morov Islands, there's only one outlined, detailed place, and that's Baraxos. And it gives you miles along the edges, so you kind of know how long it's going to be. And there are a couple of little places, we'll say, down here and maybe up here, where it kind of warns of, sea creatures, just like any good nautical map would. There's like a sea dragon up here, and there's like a big nasty octopus down here, and there's also a reef that it's outlined to avoid, this area, as it's a heavily, it's really reefy and shipwrecky. So,
okay,
yeah. And he can offer you that map, as detailed as it is. We'll say that you've got proficiency against proficiency with roles that have to do with history of this region, with just topography and geography. But you're also resting with the knowledge that it's not like you're driving the ship.
Right, exactly.
But you've got it. He's going to charge you 5 silver for this map.
Okay. Is there one of the Scolari archipelago?
The Sciari archipelago. There is indeed.
Okay.
It is not occupied by the Empire, but this place obviously has seen trade with many who have been up that way.
Baron will grab that one too, just out of curiosity.
Okay, that one's a little more expensive.
Sure.
That one's 2 gold. It's a finer make. It's not made of parchment. It's made of linen, pressed linen. It's rolled. It actually has gold thread through the border of it. So it's a little more fancy, but it outlines the Sciari archipelago. There's a couple of settlements up there that I will populate at a later date and send to you.
Sure. He will hand over 3 gold.
Okay, perfect. He thanks you for your business. And anybody else?
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and I don't have it in my inventory. I'm going to go ahead and grab some rope and a grappling hook.
Okay.
With the maps, is there a map case? Just FYI.
I got one. I can spare you one.
Okay.
Ooh, what's that look like?
He's just really cool, okay?
Yeah. Are you just walking around with tubes on your back? Like,
I got a couple of scroll cases in there, map cases, just in case.
Okay.
Awesome.
Ooh. Oh, you finished what you were doing. Sorry.
Okay, so you said grappling hooks and accompanying rope. So he sells the rope in 3 different lengths: 25, 50, and 100. Okay, each grappling hook needs a rope, but obviously, if you want, you can cut a rope up. I wouldn't say it's necessary for you. Your insight tells you I don't need 50 feet of rope per grappling hook.
Yeah.
But rope is cheap. It's 2 silver a pop.
Mm-hmm.
Let me actually hold on. Let me make sure I'm not overcharging you. Okay. Yeah. Oh, sorry. I was undercharging you. So I'm not going to charge you a gold per rope. We'll say 5 silver for each length of 50.
Okay, I'll take 1 length of 50 and 1 grappling hook.
The grappling hooks are 2 gold a pop.
Okay. So 3 gold then?
3 gold, and Daunt is going to toss you a gold and say, "Hey, pick one up from me, yeah?"
All right. Pick up one of what? Rope or grappling hook?
I got the rope, but get me one of them fancy hooks.
All right. I will go ahead and do that.
And looking as understandably bored as a wizard would in a place like this, just kind of asks the shopkeep, "Got any cool books?" And the shopkeep says, "Well, do I ever?" And he rounds the corner and brings like 5 or 6 tomes out, and they're all nautical themed, like, beasts of the sea and best fishing spots on the west side of Valandiir and things like that. And just kind of flips through 2 of them, gets bored, and says, "Never mind."
I'm going to look through those. I'm going to see. You said Beast of the Sea?
Yes. It is a comprehensive novel that it's written by the exasperated Timothy O'Leary, and it details several written accounts. It's kind of a consolidation of letters with different accounts of sea creatures, and then corroborated with what is kind of common knowledge. And I'll say that if you purchase it for 2 gold, it's going to give you proficiency in history and proficiency in history and nature on any knowledge needed about some of the most common dangerous creatures in the Ocean of Souls, which is what this book kind of primarily details.
Okay, so 1 for me. What were some of the other books?
There's kind of a romantic kind of book about a sailor who falls in love with a siren and is never seen again, and then it trails off to what his cousin does about it. There's also the only educational books that you see besides that, there's a knot tying book. There's a how to survive at sea on minimal supplies, when you're caught out with no wind, things like that. There's a sort of a general nautical knowledge, how to tie up a rig sail, and how, what the different parts of a ship are called, things like that.
Okay, I'll take the Nautical for Dummies and the Sea Creature book.
Okay. There's a book that he did not bring from the shelf that catches your eye. Go ahead and make a quick perception check. As you kind of turn away, you see 23. Yeah, this thing has like very faded gold lettering, and it just says "Pirates of the Age."
Yeah. Hold up. Before you hit total, what's that one up there?
He's going to lie and say which one as he steps his massive frame in front of where his books were.
The one that your head is now blocking, the one behind you.
Make a persuasion.
26.
I feel I should make a deception check on his part. Yeah, that's a solid 11 on. He just kind of turns briefly and he says, Oh, that! To be honest with you, sir, this one's out of me private collection, and he brings it down. It's pretty hefty for a book. It's small. It looks like it's meant to be carried in the pocket, but it's thick, and yeah, there's what looks like a skull with a bone and a sword crossed underneath it. The skull has an eye patch on the cover, and it again says "Pirates of the Age," and it looks like handwritten entries, and with kind of sketches off beside them. And you flip through it real quick. You see, little journal entries and descriptions and things like that. You recognize some from vague stories that you've seen in the past, you've heard in the past.
Mm-hmm.
But many you do not. For instance, there's Wilson Lucius and Captain Oswin Hartford, the great vampire Nevin, and there's all these nautical legendary figures that most of which you've never heard of. But hey, seems like a cool read. Maybe something to pass the time on the waves.
Yeah. How much for this one?
And he goes, well, and you see him kind of hold it and flip to the back, and there are like 30 or 40 blank pages.
Oh.
And you see where the book is actually a little quill and inkwell. And he says, well, like I said, this one's a bit personal, but if you really want it, I suppose I could compile all my materials together and start a new journal. Is it really worth it to you?
Oh, yeah, we're all like that. Oh.
Yeah, he kind of straightens up a little proudly.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't take a man's personal recollections from him. It's just I'm a sharer of stories, and I'm just always up for some good material, especially when it comes to earlier history.
He kind of beams a little and says, well, you really think it's worth a look to you? And he just kind of looks around and says, tell you what, you're one of them bards, aren't you?
That I am.
Give it away.
Well, I'm assuming that you're good at spinning a tale, aren't you?
I haven't had any major complaints.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'll sell it to you for 20 gold if you promise to, well, do a little ditty about Wyndham Nicolai. And he kind of flips real quick and ends on one of the first entries you see is Wyndham Nicolai.
Wyndham Nicolai.
Yep.
Okay.
And there's a sketch there. And it seems oddly familiar. He's a large, burly, but very young human male with big, bushy brown sideburns. Except this one's wearing what looks like a red bandana on top of his head and a very stylized, long, curly mustache. But there's no mistaking the large, prominent Roman nose as the shopkeeper standing before you.
Okay. So I'll just stand there. I'll look there. Kind of breeze through a couple of the entries there. Take about 2-3 minutes while I'm doing this. I'm like, all right. Now, granted, this is just something I'm here, just kind of riffing here, right here on the spot, but let's see how this does for you. And I will start to go into very nice sea shanty-like tune regarding the great Wyndham Nikolai.
He's going to quickly put his hands up and goes, shh, 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 shh. Keep it down. I didn't mean right now. I meant when you wrote your epic. And he looks around real quick and like walks over to the door and he's like, not exactly sure I really want that sung out loud while I'm here. And he's going to take the book and take your coin and wrap the book up in a nice brown paper bag. And he says, you got a lovely voice there, partner, though. And he's going to kind of hand you the book and say, I hope you enjoy it. It's a lot of hard work compiling it all together, and let me know what you think.
Got it. Thank you so much for your time.
Yes, then thank you for your quick discretion.
All right, and I'm done with my business.
All righty. Stepping outside.
Oh, no. One second.
Oh. Sorry. Go ahead.
I remembered something as Karish was asking. Does he happen to have a sextant and a smallish spyglass?
He does have several spyglasses of various make. We'll just say there's 3 tiers of quality. He has like 5 or 6 very functional brass extendable kind of telescopic spyglasses. One of which does not extend. It's about 1 foot long, but it has a very powerful magnifying glass at the end. He's got 3 or 4 kind of polished silvery and sort of high polished brass ones with sort of a ridge around each of the eye hole and the lens out front. Those are a little higher quality. And then he's got 2 one's very highly polished silver, maybe even platinum. It's got a little chain that connects the front and the back, doesn't extend at all. And the other one is it almost looks like it's made of gold, and it's got little jewel incrustations along the edge of each telescopic segment. The real simple ones are a gold apiece. The higher quality are going to be 10 gold apiece. And the expensive one is 50 gold, the other is 150 gold.
Okay. You said the middle was 50 or 10, I mean?
10 gold for the real nice ones.
Okay. And size-wise, the collapsible one is like kind of, I don't know, pocket size?
It's like 3 inches.
Yeah, that'll work.
It's like 2 film cases stacked on top of each other, for those that remember film cases.
Yes, I remember, yeah. Okay. So 10 gold for that one, and a sextant. Does he have one of those?
Yes, he has plenty of range finding and navigation tools. He's got compasses. He actually has nautical compasses and regular compasses. He's got various precision navigation tools. He has a sextant. It's like for tools, it's not cheap. It's going to be 15 gold, but it is exceptionally well adjusted and calibrated. And not for nothing, you can use this on land too. You don't have to use this at sea. You just need to be able to kind of generally see the horizon and navigate with the stars and things like that. So,
okay. How about one of those nautical?
Sorry?
A nautical compass?
Nautical compass is going to be just 2 gold apiece. They're pretty simple, but the neat thing with them is it's something that works on land, and also if he explains that if you place this in a bucket of water, it becomes 10 times more accurate because the way the seas move, it can mess with the needle, but if it's sitting in a bucket of water, it stays relatively level and very accurate. 2 gold apiece for those, yeah.
Okay, so I'll take one of those, the sextant and the spyglass. That's 27. Okay, I'll give him 30 gold for all 3.
He looks at you extraordinarily grateful. His hands are dirty. Everyone that you passed on the way to the shop is very working class, lower working class, and doesn't look like he gets rained on very much by anybody. So the extra 3 gold is much obliged. He's actually going to slip you what looks like a set of wax, kind of little bullets, and he says, "Here, take these. 1 set for each of you and your friends. You ever hear the sirens call at night? You put these in your ears and you'll be just fine. On the house."
Well, thank you.
And you see him kind of look out the window to the ocean beyond. He's like, "They're out there, singing, waiting for a weak-minded fool to stop and pursue the siren."
Baranor's going to slowly look over at Pravesh.
And Daunt is going to lean over to you, Iona, and say, "I think that chap spent one too many days out to sea."
Okay, I'm done.
You approach the outer door, and Luna steps aside and kind of gives you a nod, like, "Everything's fine out here. You find what you're looking for. Are we all good?"
Yeah.
Yeah. Is Fenrir in the ring?
No, Fenrir has been out this entire time.
Okay, so he's kind of circling his mother, and as he definitely got bored and scampered off, and looks like she probably had to go get him. The streets of Crannon's Post lies before you. The tallest ship in the entire village. You can see over several rows of thin streets that lead towards the docks, and so you see a lot of activity on the shore. Fishing vessels being loaded with cargo, pulling fish off of lines. People arguing over the price of caught crabs. And that's when you see the tall masts of the ship that Baranor spied on his way back to the temple this morning.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep. Here you stand in the middle of the street. Don't know if there was anything else anybody wanted to do. Did somebody mention something about a waterproof log too? Yeah, Pravesh, you did.
Yeah.
Okay, just real quick retroactive. The idea of this guy's got journals, and one of them has a wax coating that you sort of scratch an ink pen into, but once it's written, the pages seem pretty well protected. You imagine it probably wouldn't withstand years of submersion, but maybe falling to the bottom of the ocean and being immediately retrieved, probably okay.
Okay, cool. That's what I was looking for.
Yeah, he's gonna only charge you 2 silver for that. It's pretty cheap. All right. Okay, so making your way down the street along the piers of fishing vessels, you see this large, high-masted ship with workers. Looks like they're loading and unloading goods in crates and baskets, and there looks like a set of a gangway plank leading up to the deck of the ship. This thing is massive. It's a huge brigantine-style clipper ship. It looks like it's perhaps 100 feet long. Has this huge, regal-looking, not sure if it's an eagle or a hawk, gold-plated carved bird's head as a figurehead under this large mast, foremast that extends out the front. Big blue sails. There's a flying flag at the rear of the Imperial Seal. And standing at the foot of this gangplank entry walkway, you see this woman. And it looks like she's shouting orders at kind of similarly dressed, at least in color scheme, but, shabby clothes and barefoot and torn sleeves, shouting orders at them.
Okay, so I guess we'll make it. Did we get a name for the person that we were to meet?
No. Nope. You just know this is the only big ship that looks like it's leaving, and it's you get the feeling it's probably here for you.
Okay.
As you approach, this woman turns to you, and with kind of she kind of gives you all a real quick, sort of wide-eyed look up and down. Aha. Well, hello. I assume you're the adventurers that are being picked up from this port visit.
We are.
And she just kind of takes a half a step back and looks at all of you. Well, I am Lieutenant Ana Castillo, first mate of the Kestral. The stores are secured and the cargo sound. Your cabins aboard are prepped and are ready for your arrival. The tall the tall elven woman takes a strong step back and admires the likewise tall brigantine vessel. The Kestral stands 60 feet high at its masthead with sails of inky black and blue and a dashing falcony eagle carved in blue and gold wood at its bow. Ah yes, take in her beauty. The Kestral is the ship of glory and virtue. Its hull built of pine forest wood harvested from the ancient First Age jasper woods. The ship has been in service of the Empire for 250 years, and was in service to the Lorian Kingdom another 100 years before that. It's the fastest ship and has seen the rise and fall of sea demons and brought a few down herself. It has been my profound honor to serve aboard these past 15 years, and I shall one day helm the wheel myself if I live and I'm worthy. But we're a little rushed, so if you'll come aboard, we'll get out of here.
All right.
It seems like you're like the last of the major traffic to get aboard. There's a few of the kind of ogre-looking deckhands carrying things, mops, buckets, barrels, crates onto the ship. And Daunt just kind of he kind of looks up at the top of the ship and he kind of gives it says, "Well, who captains this vessel? This is extraordinary." And Lieutenant Castillo just sort of sidles up all to you and says, "The captain is not here. He disembarked this morning. He's got himself a sloop of his own. Bit of a captain's yacht, if you will. He took to sea before the sun rose. He's scouting the route ahead. He will meet us on the waves later tonight." And she kind of turns and snaps her fingers. "All right, let's get the cargo on board, you rapscallions." And if she had a whip, she'd crack it. And she kind of ushers you on like, please now, we haven't a moment to waste. And I'll have those of you perceptive in insight and perception, go ahead and roll it.
Perception?
Or insight.
Or insight, okay.
I mean, you've gone perception, so I'll do insight. Oh, natural one.
Oh boy.
29 for me.
I mean, Iona, you're getting like sick. Like you see this huge ship it's barely moving, but all of the smaller vessels along the pier are bobbing up and down, and it's throwing off your equilibrium and you're feeling a little gurgle already.
And it's also like, I know I can swim, I can swim fine. But I'm thinking, like, when you're in the middle of the ocean, it doesn't matter if you can swim if there's nowhere to swim to.
Yeah. Well, you're a little distracted as you get on the boat, and I'm going to say that you have a passive dexterity saving throw enough to not fall off the gangplank. It's definitely roped down. It looks like a professional, it's professionally made. It's just a little shabby. So you climb aboard. Daunt climbs on after, and with those who rolled above a 20 with any of these checks, you notice that she's definitely in a hurry. Maven, you get the feeling like she's also she looks like she keeps looking out to sea as she's making sure the deckhands get everything on board. Baranor, I don't know which one you were rolling, but you can tell also that she seems a little stressed out. She's holding it well, and just for Krabish's, he's the one doing a perception check, and Baranor, you notice she looks like a rather young elf. She looks like she hasn't even broken 100 years yet.
Babies, all of you.
Yeah.
So, easily you are directed towards a there's a stairway through like a top deck grate that is swung up, leads down into the hold of the ship where there are sleeping quarters for the crew. You guys are all given individual little cabins. It looks like, this place is not just a shabby merchant vessel. It is a resplendent, gilded kind of jewel of the empire of the sea, and the decorative themes would garner as much. There is gold piping along the frames of pictures of what looks like past captains, and that kind of there's just sort of oil paintings. There's depictions of sea battles along the hallway where your cabins are, and there are 10 of these cabins, so there's enough for each of you. It looks like there's nobody else being transported but you.
Okay.
Yeah. Baranor, I'm definitely going to need an animal handling check, as Luna seems real super reluctant to get on this ship.
That'll be an 18.
18. All right. It's going to take you a few minutes to convince this girl to climb the gangplank up onto the deck of the ship. Her tail's kind of between her legs. She does not like this boat. It's almost like she gets up to the deck and like she gets low and spreads her paws out a little and just kind of freezes a bit.
To be honest, Baranor's not too much different.
Yeah. And this boat is simply crawling with sailors, and very, very diverse in race. There are a lot of anthropomorphic animals. There you see what looks like a kind of a basset hound dog folk, running around barefoot with a striped shirt, and he's grabbing ropes and tying them on a mooring cleat and wrapping them around a barrel with kind of handles on the top of it and widening it around. You see his sail starting to drop. You see a what almost looks like an insectile humanoid who is kind of zipping around. He's about 3 feet tall, and he's zipping around the deck and, tying knots and lashing rigging and things like that. And, apelings and humans and elves and dwarves and half-orcs all over, just sort of at first their behavior seems chaotic and random, but then you realize that several of these patterns repeat as they are sort of fetching gear and stowing things away and doing things in a certain order to get the ship ready to set sail. It's not too long before you start to hear Lieutenant Castillo stand at the back of the ship behind the quartermaster, who is holding the quartermaster's wheel, and you hear her just sort of order the men about. Haul off! It's time to get underway. Pull the mooring cleat ropes. Dash off the rigging. Let us embark and sail out on the ocean of souls. And all the men, hey! And you feel this kind of gust of wind grab the sails above you. And the ship starts to slowly pull away from the pier. Those of you with weak constitution can already kind of feel like almost like a roller coaster feeling, where your stomach just sort of gets up into your chest and then slowly gurgles down to your pelvis and then starts to hover once again. And you see, for like 20 minutes it takes to kind of get out of the harbor completely before you see a vast ocean horizon before you. Many of you seeing this, up close, you did get to see a little bit of it up on the cliffs, but you were also above the cloud line too, so a lot of the times it was obscured by the clouds. This is a full horizon, all the way left, all the way right of your vision, of just this vast watery nothingness. It is midday. The sun is high. The wind is just perfect to catch these sails and push this ship out to sea. And as you all just sort of stand on the deck of the Kestral, looking out, looking forward, looking up, we're going to take a little break.
Yay!
Okay, sounds like a plan.
Yeah. It is 3:55 Eastern Standard. We'll take 15 and meet back here at 4:10 and start your first leg of this 3-day sea journey.
That was only a 3-hour tour.
That's a 3-hour tour. Yeah, that's the length of the tour. After the 3 hours, she's done telling you what's going on.
Yeah.
3-hour tour, 3-day journey. But we'll meet back here in 15, folks.
Alrighty.
All right. All right. Are we back, folks?
We are.
Mostly.
Mostly.
Next step.
They mostly come at night. Mostly.
Yes.
All right. Who's ready for a giant squid attack? Ready, go.
Is it a giant squid or a what do they call them? Markarths? Moroths or something like that?
I think it's Morgoth, like Lord of the Rings.
Morgoths, okay.
Yeah. All right.
It's kind of weird that there's two.
Well, I wonder if Morgoth is that like a word that exists independently of Lord of the Rings and D&D? You know what I mean?
No, I mean there's like the Kraken, which is like the stereotypical like squid monster, and then there's the Morgoth, which is like different but still squiddy.
Yeah, it's like a big squid with a beak, but it also hoards like treasure on its back. It's kind of, but it's not even from the ocean. It's from like the astral plane or something.
Something like that, yeah.
Weird. It's what if anybody watched Critical Role Campaign 2, it's what Vokodo was.
Yes.
It wasn't what he was at the end. He was a little changed, but yeah.
Yeah. Where they found Keyleth's mom. Spoilers. If these are spoilers,
Spoiler.
for campaign 2.
Yeah, which is like, what was that, 7 or that was that at that point that was COVID. We found that out during COVID.
Yeah.
That was such a so I didn't have the time to ask, but has anybody seen The Mighty Nine on Amazon Prime? I have. It is extraordinary. I'm good.
I'm loving the changes that they've made.
I am too. I actually was thinking, like, how are they going to do this? How are they going to do that? But the way they ended up kind of piecing everything together made it. I respect it. It's like a video game versus a TV show adaptation or a movie or something. It's going to be a little different.
Well, for Vox Machina, like up until like the very last couple episodes, it's been pretty much going to the campaign, and
it was very dedicated.
The critters who have been there since day one knew everything was going on. Other people were like, "Whoa, this is crazy! What the fuck's going on?" But for the Mighty Nine, we're all kind of like we know the basics, but like they've changed things so differently. Like they're still kind of going along that linear path, but they've changed enough to where it's like a new experience for each.
Yeah, I like the way Molly was the one that knew about the gentleman, and I love that they got Nathan Fillion to voice him. It was perfect. Yeah. Anyway, I could literally talk for 4 hours about that show, so let's get a move on here.
Yeah. Not my favorite.
All right. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Oh, Molly. No.
He's great. He's just great. Perfectly portrayed.
I hated him.
Really?
I preferred Caduceus. Caduceus was great.
I know. Yeah, Molly was like the rapscallion kind of piratey carnival guy, and Caduceus is just the chill, cool, pot-smoking best friend.
Yeah.
Okay. So
I think we're still waiting on Steph, but she'll be along here shortly.
Okay. I have no idea where Kenny is, by the way. I hope he's all right. Might be. He usually cancels online, like tells me about it, but what we heard from today. Anyway, Crown Collectors. As I said, you are about 20 minutes into your journey, watching the coast from one side of the ship slowly disappear, while on the other side, the ocean lies open before you. Lieutenant Ana Castillo, first mate of the ship, of the Kestral, stands occasionally shouting orders, looking through her spyglass upon the horizon. It seems like she's a pretty present first mate, very on top of running the ship. And you notice at the back of the ship, underneath where she stands and the quartermaster stands, there is a double doorway that is currently closed, but strangely, it's almost like there's a slight staircase leading down to this door, a couple of steps, and then there's just through the windows of this door, there's just empty ocean. And just in passing, you kind of stick your head down there, and you notice this vast space where there's like a hollow section of the ship behind these doors. And you kind of look down, and you notice there's no walkway, there's no floor beneath the threshold of this door. And those of you who imagine what a ship looks like have never seen anything like this, where there's like just this huge empty space behind these double doors at the back of the ship.
Yeah.
Whee!
But, as those of you kind of wander through the the lower decks of the ship, those that you're allowed to go. There are places that are kind of off limits. Not that you're like a knife gets put in your face to back off, but there are doors that are locked. There are holds that are roped off with no visitors, and you just see piled crates and net-covered barrels and cargo. But over by your living spaces, you all just sort of kind of naturally congregate towards the lunch hour. And there's sort of a central room on either side of, or on one side of the hall, where it looks like there's maybe 6 or 7 chairs huddled around a barrel with a wood plank tabletop on top of it. And as you kind of gather, you all notice that there is an envelope on the top of this desk, or on top of this table. And on one side it says CC.
Okay.
All right.
Well, this is very different from meeting in a tavern, but okay.
Yeah. What do? Do you pick it up? It explodes.
Yeah.
Who is picking it up?
Me.
Okay.
Your business to accept it.
Yeah. You try to open it, and it seems really, really well adhered. And Baranor, you notice that as he kind of is, as you step closer to where it is, something glows on the back of the envelope that none of you notice except Baranor. And what you see is this.
Okay. I noticed it. Do I know what that means?
Yep. That's the symbol of the Syndicate.
Ah.
You would know that.
Of course. Okay. Is it actually glowing like that, or?
As far as you can tell, it is. Kravish, you don't see anything.
Okay.
Neither does Yuno, and neither does anybody else. Iona, Maven, none of you see what he's looking at, but he seems to be looking at the back rather intently.
Okay. I'm gonna
Something
cast.
interesting right here.
Mm-hmm.
No, nothing. I'm going. You'll see Baranor's eyes light up with purple light, and he's gonna cast a spell.
All right, nothing. You don't see anything else on the envelope.
Okay.
That's all you see.
Okay.
But you okay, dude?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right. I'll go ahead and open the envelope.
Yeah, now that it seems like it's loosening up the closer Baranor gets to it, and the back opens up. So, who does anyone want to read it? Do you want me to read it in its intended voice? Who wants to take over?
Well, we'll let Baranor read it since he's the one that seems to be really interested in it.
Sure, why not?
All right. Baranor, you open, there's a couple of pages, and the first page you see is this. Go ahead.
Okay.
You can read aloud for the class.
I know. I'm just
Are you checking it for spelling errors?
checking to see if there's anything that may need. Anyways, B. I hope this message finds you in good spirits. News of your deeds in the capital have reached our ears at nearly all reaches of the Imperial hand. Yeah. Even here at headquarters in the swamp, whispers of the mighty crown collectors driving away the dragon riders who slew Prince Hector. This makes me smile. Some of us always knew you were special, Baranor, but rising to infamy is unbecoming a proper thief. Be warned.
Be warned.
Yeah.
Ooh. You recognize the handwriting?
Yeah, there's another page.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Oh, there is another page. Okay. Not to worry, your celebrity does not jeopardize your standing with the guild. Just be sure that whatever it is you are pursuing, it benefits the syndicate as well as your friends. There is a lot riding on this. I surmise who knew a Jasper Ranger had it in him to take it all on. Good luck to you and do report it. Regards, Z.
And there's something written on the back.
Okay.
There's a postscript.
Okay. P.S. Yathara stopped in on her way back from the east. Had a new companion with her, tan coat, familiar face. Tell Luna she looked well and capable.
And, yeah. You see that symbol at the bottom starts to glow and disappear and is replaced with something that only you can see, so I will send this to you.
Yes.
And you all notice him just staring at the back of this letter a little longer. Maybe seems like he's either focused on something or he's about to tear up a little. Not sure which with Baranor.
Okay. Good to hear that. Good to hear that about Yathara.
What now?
Did you say that out loud?
Yeah, good to hear about Yathara.
Did she die?
No. You missed all of this. Sorry. Pretty much, it's a note from Z.
Okay.
And I'm guessing.
What imagine?
P.S. Yathara stopped in on her way back from the east. Had a new companion with her. Tan coat, familiar face. Tell Luna she looked well and capable.
Okay. So I'm like, you're looking excited about hearing about Iathara. This sounds like a lie.
We're referring about Artemis, I'm guessing.
Yeah, that would describe her.
Yeah. And, the Apollo leaving just now, and, so.
Iona's going to sort of look at you and say, so it says slew Prince Hector. He was injured, but he was still living the last we heard.
That is true. Maybe Zed has more information than we do.
Would that be surprising?
No.
I will say that those of you who were paying attention to scuttlebutt and rumors in the various places that you've been, the stories are mixed on whether Hector survived. It seems like either he's dead and they're trying to hide it, or he's alive and they're trying to hide it. It's kind of nebulous on exactly where his life is hanging.
Yeah. Did your was this made with AI?
Huh?
Was this made with AI?
I never tell.
Okay,
If you can't tell, it means it's working.
I mean, it looks pretty AI. I'm just noticing certain letters that are capitalized that really shouldn't be, and not seeing a pattern.
Oh, no. Okay, I see what you're saying. No, you don't notice a pattern.
I'm like, why is that one capitalized and that one's okay? What?
Why did he send me the recipe for frozen pizza? This doesn't make any sense.
Well, the first 4 capital letters are bind, so I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
And after that, it's gibberish, and I'm like, okay. I thought maybe I was onto something, and now I'm like, never mind.
Nope.
I was like, some of these sentences are oddly written as it is. So I'm like, maybe the words needed to be a certain order. Yeah, I was looking too far into it. Okay.
Yeah. Yep. Seems like maybe Zhen likes to capitalize certain letters and not capitalize others. Not exactly sure.
Oh, shouldn't the crown collector both of them should be capitalized? I would think.
Maybe he was insulting you a little bit. I don't know.
Yeah.
Or maybe it was made with AI. Okay.
Maybe it's Maybelline. I don't know.
If I had the skills to paint like that, I would. Trust me.
Well, I didn't know if like it was an image that you just like typed over.
That I will not reveal.
Yeah. Okay.
You just have to infer on your own.
Okay.
So, the day progresses. I'm going to need, because after about an hour or two of being on this ship, it's the seas are rather calm, but they are the ocean is made of water. The water is uneven. Even calm seas cause the boat to rock gently, and those of you unaccustomed to movement like this, I mean, you've all been on a horse. Sometimes a horse kind of tosses you around. It's jarring, and sometimes you're on a wagon, and the wagon can be a little bumpy. But this is different. This is grand movements up and slow, grand movements down to the point where your stomach feels horrible. Those of you.
I'm making the tea.
Okay. As the tea brews, I'm going to need a Constitution save from everybody.
Oh no.
Ruh-roh Raggy.
So it begins.
Dawn got a 16. Not bad.
Not called fun to read.
13.
All right.
Here's the fun one. Okay. That's not too.
Oh no. Oh no. Of
That
course,
was
the resident
almost a
puker.
dirty 20.
You know, not for nothing, but you carry on your person an artifact that if you drink from it, you probably won't throw up. Just saying.
Yeah, but is that only from alcohol, or is that like
Hey, throwing up is throwing
all
up.
forms of puking?
I don't know. You could put alcohol in it and find out.
I drink from the bottle of Boundless coffee.
Oh, I don't know if I've ever drank coffee while seasick. I don't know about that one.
That probably doesn't.
I rolled a 21 on my con save, so
Yeah. All right. I got to roll for. Got a natural 1. Oh no.
And he's not even a witness.
So I'm going to say that Baranor, you and Iona kind of, and I don't think I got one from Maven. Is she not at her computer?
she's here.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I need a con save from Maven.
26.
20. Okay. So, Maven, you have had your fair share of, journeys over large bodies of water. You're also pretty nimble. You're able to kind of, you spread your feet about, 2 feet apart and position your shoulders, and you kind of feel yourself rocking with the boat so that the rhythm, you kind of get yourself in a standing rhythm. So, you don't really feel any ill effects. Baranor, same thing with you. Maybe it's an elf thing, not exactly sure. But, you find yourself walking up and down the inner bowels of the ship. For some reason, you feel more comfortable down here than you would up top deck. And
Really strange.
Luna and Fenrir trail behind you, both of them looking like almost like soggy dogs. Like they're just like dragging their feet. Fenrir, he just kind of sits and he howls a little bit, and then he pukes a little on the on the deck, and then immediately laps it up. And a couple people nearby are like, "Ew." Luna is also likewise. She feels very sluggish. Her eyes are lulled. She yawns a lot. She's panting. She seems a little stressed. It looks like she's constantly like jerking to find her balance. She bumps into the wall a couple of times, and here you are, just kind of tiptoeing down the hallway. No problem. You're able to you put your foot down at the right moment to catch the ship as it bows itself back up, and as the ship dives down the waves, you find yourself kind of like floating a little, sort of enjoying it. Kravish, however,
odd that the two people who have never been on.
Kravish, however, the walls, as you walk the cabin walkways, the walls seem to like bulge and swell and breathe, and it freaks you out a little. You're not sure if you're seeing things. Your stomach starts to rumble. You think to yourself, was it the berries with the oatmeal? This doesn't usually happen to you, although you've never been on a ship like this. You've been on airships before, but they don't really move like this. And you feel a strong urge to get to an outdoor, fresh air surface.
Mm-hmm.
Koza. You find you've had like this weird semi headache since about an hour since leaving, and that headache has like morphed into a lethargic stomachache. It feels like whatever you ate is sitting like a rock at the bottom of your stomach, and you just trample your way through the halls, stomp up the stairs. You're not sure, you might have broken a step up, and you pitch your head over the side and vomit all of your breakfast all over the sea. And and you see out of your peripheral vision, about a foot or 2 or 3 feet down the rail, this shaky hand with a tin cup slides it down towards you, and you look over and you see a black cloaked person with their head fully over the side. You see emptying his breakfast as well, and in this little tin cup is what looks like some kind of a liquid, and he goes, "Here, this probably helps."
What does it smell like?
It smells like some kind of a medicinal tincture.
Okay, I'll swig it.
You swig it. Go ahead and make a wisdom saving throw.
Oh boy.
Has poisoned you.
Oh, come on.
That's okay.
I almost landed on a 13.
It's not a fail. It's just not going to have quite the effect you intended, but it tastes terrible, and you kind of muscle it down, and in a very medicine-tasting way, you feel this fizz start to form at the back of your throat that you're able to kind of swallow and settle. So I'm going to say that your next con save will be at advantage.
Okay.
He just kind of wipes his mouth, and he's like, "Ugh, I haven't been on a ship like this since I was a kid. I don't remember being this sick then. Jeez." And he leaps. Yeah, he pitches his head over the side again. He's just dry heaving, like, Iona, you kind of find yourself staring out at the open ocean, taking it all in. I would like you to make a perception check at advantage, as you are not impeded at all by seasickness.
Okay, that is a 21.
21. You notice the sounds of seagulls or whatever coastal sort of water bird that frequents this part of Valandiir. Their calls diminish the further away you get until you don't hear them anymore. You know, the sounds of the sea are rhythmic as the ship pitches up and yaws down, crashing down into the ocean as it gains speed. You manage to hear a snippet of a conversation between two sailors a bit away. Doesn't seem like they're trying to hide what they're saying, but they're also not shouting it. And since you're kind of absorbing the calm of traversing over the waves and kind of also kind of moving your hips with the rhythm of the bucking of the ship, kind of keeping in step with the movements of the ocean, you're able to kind of relax a little and pay attention to your surroundings. You hear the kind of the trail end of a hushed, hurried conversation between what looks like a bear folk. He's this big, burly, black-furred bear man, and what looks like a dwarf, kind of a stocky, tall, wide-chested dwarf with, brown, balding hair and a big, bushy brown beard. And you hear the bear folk kind of whisper a little, "Is she sure is she sure she lost them?" And the dwarf says, That's what Castillo told me. Not sure." And then they just the conversation disappears into the sound of the ocean as they just kind of walk further away from you.
Yeah, I mean, I am very familiar with the concept of furtive whispers that people don't want overheard, but I also know that I am not the person for the job of getting people to talk in terms of whatever this is about. So I am going to return to. So where did we read the letter within the ship? Because I know we were below decks, but was there like a specific room?
So the way the ship is broken up is the first level down from the top deck, the weather deck, is where all the sleeping quarters are. And your sleeping quarters are towards the rear. So there's this big wooden grate in the floor of the top deck, and it looks like it's always folded up, and there's a stairway down. That first deck is where all of you kind of live, and the forward part of the bow is where the crew has these hammocks strung between pillars and things like that. You guys have a bank of like tiny little cabin rooms. They're not very big. It's like just big enough for a small bed. Like Koza, Kravish, really sorry, but you guys are gonna have to like baby fetal position it, or you're going to have to sleep on the floor or something, because there's just enough room for a little nightstand, a little desk, a very small desk, and there's a little porthole window on the wall that you can see out with, and that's it. That's all you get, but you get your individual little cabins. And where you read that note was there was a room between a bank of these cabins where there's just kind of chairs around a small table that looks like it can fit, 8 people not very comfortably.
Alright, okay, so I am going to go back down to that room where, I will have I had the chance to brew the tea yet? Because if I haven't, then I will.
Oh, yes. Yep. We can say the tea is ready.
Okay, yeah. So the tea is ready. Everyone, don't think about the fact that she also brews poison with the same kit. She does clean the equipment in between. And
you did wash that spatula, right?
I wash everything.
Okie dokie.
The cross-contamination is incredibly foolish in any process like this. So then Arana is just, it is, you've seen her brew poisons, and this is, she approaches it exactly the same way. It's just that it's not with poison this time. And, so then...
She stands there glaring at her cauldron with bent fingers.
And then, she pours out one cup for each of us. Even enough for like those who passed their saves, just in case. And then she mentions, she'll brew the same first thing.
I'm gonna
First
use
thing tomorrow as well.
I'm gonna use the never puke cup when she doles out my ration.
Okay. Daunt is going to be the first to scoop a cup up and raise it up and say, to savior of our stomachs, thank you, Iona. And he's going to be the first to drain his cup. And he makes a little face, like you ever taste a friend of yours cooking, and you weren't expecting it to quite taste like that, but you're trying to be polite, and he just kind of holds it in his mouth. His eyes grow a little wide, and then he just sort of strong gulps it down.
Smooth.
It's got a good mouthfeel, yeah?
The hell does that mean?
He shouldn't have a mouthfeel at all.
Yeah, it's almost like someone peeled a carrot into your tea. But you guys all get it down. You may all have advantage on a con save.
Yay.
However, Maven, Iona, and Baranor, you do not need to make seasick con saves. You are immune for 24 hours.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, that's how seasickness works, folks. You get over it, and then you're good. It's walking on land after that's a little weird.
Oh, great! So we get to do that when the voyage is over as well. That's fun. Okay, so now I've got everyone together over our little tea party. Iona is going to check that first that no one is able to listen in.
All right, just go ahead and make sleight of hand.
Oh. Oh, 6. I don't know if this is enough for me to figure out if I feel secure.
Well, your 21 is carrying over. In doing so, you kind of try your best to look around stealthily, see if anybody's coming. No one is coming, but you look a little awkward doing it.
Okay. I was thinking. I'm going to, depending on whether you need me to make a stealth roll about this, I'm going to guidance myself and lower my voice and very quietly explain what I've heard, and then suggest we can discuss more. We've got our link up to talk in each other's heads if we want, so that no one can overhear any further. I mean, we might even be able to, if we feel we have to, I can put the mansion portal in my cabin, and we can even go in there to discuss, depending on how we want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
But there may be something going on this ship. I relay not only what I've heard, but who I heard it from, so that they can, so I describe the bear folk, I describe the dwarf, and I describe, the loss, and the fact that the first mate is aware of it.
Is going to confer that he also overheard somebody mentioning something that he's only heard of in very low company conversation, but he heard something about the Verdant Cross, and not really sure what it means, but it's definitely not a thing. It's maybe an organization.
Ring any bells to me?
Make a history check.
I'll guidance you for your history check.
I'm going to have Dawn make one as well. Dawn does pretty good.
13 plus 2 for a 15.
Krish, you have not heard of the Verdant Cross.
Okay.
I have heard something about that.
Yeah, you can make a history check as well. And Daunt is going to step forward and say, I think I've heard of them. Bandits and thieves? Maybe pirates? Not exactly sure. Never come across any myself. With an 18, I mean, you've heard the word Verdant Cross as far as passing travelers that have come to the monastery. You've never read a book about them, so you just heard that got chased out of the Sciari archipelago by the Verdant Cross. You're not exactly sure what that means, but you've never met anybody that has met them. But Baranor knows them.
Yeah, I'm like, would I know them from syndicates, goings on and whatnot?
Yes, you would. You've never encountered them yourself.
Mm-hmm.
But you would know them as something of a rival organization to your own.
Mm.
But you're pretty sure that they operate beyond the Morov Islands, and that they have a lot of territorial dispute with certain smaller vessels of the Empire. Some have even labeled them pirates.
When you say beyond the Morov Islands, do you mean more west or?
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
So, what you know about what is west of the West is a mysterious and seldom traveled what?
Ice wall, right?
No ice wall. But there is where a continent would be to the west. There is an immense island chain called the Azumi Islands, and that is where the Verdant Cross is rumored to be headquartered.
Okay.
That's it.
So,
Guys,
they overheard elements of the Verdant Crosses operating on this ship.
you're not sure? You haven't heard anything.
Well, no,
You just heard somebody mentioning something about look out for the Verdant Cross or something like that. It didn't seem. I mean, he didn't give the impression that there was a spy on board. That's not what the crew is giving.
Okay. Well, Baranor having some knowledge of the Verdant Cross and them operating in this area, he probably would have already kind of known about them and possibility of running into them at some point.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, you've never met anybody from this organization, but this is not. I mean, there are many thieves guilds, bandits.
Yeah, he's never really been on a boat before, so. Yeah.
I mean, you've heard, met, and killed members of the Sapphire, the Breakers. There's tons of different criminal organizations. There's enough room for all of them to go around for real. But not being. I would say you've never encountered them, and you've never been on a boat. Those are two things that are true.
Yeah, war is good for
business.
business.
That's full firsts for you, isn't it?
It's about that time you feel the presence of a tall female darken your doorway as you're all sort of trying to be quiet, and the thin frame of Lieutenant Ana Castillo. Just sort of steps in. She doesn't seem like she doesn't give off the impression that she was eavesdropping. She just kind of steps in and says, "Well, now that things are in order, I thought I'd come and give you all a proper greeting. I want to welcome you to the ship. How are you all doing with things? Is there anything that you need? May I have one of the deckhands fetch something for you to make your stay more comfortable.
If you could, make the world stop swirling a bit, that'd be great.
And she's gonna sniff into the air a bit. She's gonna go. Do I smell brewing shell root?
You do.
Yeah, she zeroes in on you, Iona, and steps forward. Ah, a clever precaution. It would definitely help you on the journey. Apologies for the seas. Can't exactly control the weather.
Well, worth a shot.
Well, if there's anything else you need, I shall be top deck, watching the horizon. We should be meeting with the captain once the twilight hour approaches.
Oh.
I assume his report will be uneventful.
Well, let's hope so.
All right. If anyone wants to do anything before the sun sets,
Um,
I'm just going to try to just rest a little bit,
yeah, you are very tired. That's what happens with seasickness. Is you just get super bogged down. Your feet feel like lead weights. And Maven, you notice Curvish looks a little silvery green around the gills.
I'm feeling so well.
No. Tummy hurts.
Oh.
Yeah, I may offer Kravish, and I think Koza as well. Something because they aren't. All of these cabins are the same. Iona knows how big Kravish and Koza are, and she knows how big the beds in the cabins are. And she knows how objects fit in space. So I think she's probably going to offer them the use of, because she's got the Magnificent Mansion charm. And I think so long as if I fix it to a point in space, that might be an issue because the ship is moving, but if I fix it to a part of the ship, then it should move with us, I think. But
yeah. I'm not gonna catch you on a technicality with that. You step out of the tower and you hit the ocean.
Well, I'm gonna offer them that chance, for when it's time to go to sleep, that they could, or even now, because it does last 24 hours, and they do. I mean, Koza more than Kravish, but Kravish is also going through it a little. Just a chance to rest in beds that actually fit them.
Oh, you're a princess among mortals.
Okay, I don't think I've not had the chance to describe what Iona's mansion looks like. So yeah, I'm going to. Yeah, so I'm going to say, I've got my own cabin, which I may use, or I may choose to be in the mansion. I'm thinking it over. But I just say, since I may be sleeping in it, you two will definitely be sleeping in it, but... So I am going to set it up in, I think, what would have been Kravish's cabin. And I'm going to let the others know, just because that way they'll know where it can be found. And so on one of the walls I'm going to fix the entrance to the mansion, and I'm going to step in, and Iona is still sort of figuring herself out, so there is a sense of that to the mansion. You step into, it's sort of an entrance hall. It's not huge, but it's got a high enough ceiling that there's a sense of space. The stone is, it blends. Some parts of it is sort of greyish green, sort of mottled granite. Some parts of it actually seem like the stone of, well, who we know now to be Bath's version of this cell, you know, the ziggurat almost. It's that warm sandstone, and some of it blends with, you know, the grey stone, which is actually like Stonehelm Peak. And, you know, so there's these patches which, not like a patchwork, it does just blend together. So while it's mismatched, it's not too much in conflict. In the mansion itself, it comes with servants. They are sort of humanoid. They are, you know, they are of course faceless. Some are dressed in sort of the greens and greys that remind you of the Talantar, but there are no actual symbols of Talona on what they're wearing. It's just reminiscent. Others are dressed more like warriors, actually, sort of elven warrior styles. These are faceless, but faceless in a way that their faces are covered by wings. These wings, I mean, Koza would probably know this, because he's very much one with nature. I'm not sure if Kravish should know. They are the wings of bloodhawks. And they are just sort of present, but, you know, this is how the spell works. You can request things of them. And within the mansion here, there is a bedroom for everyone. The bed is pretty comfortable, because Iona now knows what comfortable beds feel like. Koza's room actually would remind him a lot of his own room at Stonehelm Keep, because Iona has seen that and knows what he likes. There's also a pretty nice bathroom, and that's of a spa day in the capital. And there's, you know, there's a banqueting hall with, you know, all the food laid out. It is, you know, it's not too elaborate, but it is pretty nice. The wine is the same as the bottle that Dawn brought Iona, because it was pretty good wine. And there's also a reading area with bookshelves. They skew more towards history, but there are a variety of subjects. And then there is also a sparring room with sparring weapons. The front part of it is just sort of a standard space. The back part of it is in lines along the floor. There are sort of thorny vines that have been strewn there. They look poisonous, and it looks like this back area is for training at fighting whilst moving over difficult terrain. And that is mostly it. There are a few sort of paintings, but they look too realistic to be paintings. In the way, this is a mansion that is magical. It's not so much painted as just an image. There are a few of what looks like Iona and her brother as teenagers or as children sitting on the roof of what you would assume to be the Talantar Temple in Dead Marsh, in what looks like pretty relaxed poses. Sometimes they're reading, sometimes they're talking, sometimes they're playing what might be some kind of board game. And there's also what sort of shoved in a corner that you notice it eventually, but it's in like a corner of the sparring room that no one would think to look at immediately, is what appears to be an attempt at a family portrait. You can see Iona and Levin. He's young enough that he doesn't have any scars yet, and you can see that they really were, they're not identical twins, but they really were just absolute peas in a pod. They are dressed in what you would assume is like their finest when they were like 12, 13, 14, something like that. Their parents are behind them. Their father he looks dead. He looks like a handsome, auburn-haired, green-eyed elven man who is starved and battered and died at the very least 24 hours ago, and the mother is a half-drow woman who doesn't have a face. And
Ooh.
yeah, it's just blurred, and there's nothing there. And then behind that is Ara, looking a lot more put together than you've ever seen her. You know, you only ever saw her when she was really going off the deep end and going further and further off the deep end. She is dressed in her Alantar finery as High Priestess. She looks very imperious. And then sort of in the background almost, you see this woman who is very much resembling Aura and also Iona's father. She's dressed in sort of not hugely ostentatious but stylish, sort of what the nobility wore a few decades ago. And he is turning away and she looks disapproving. And that is Iona's mansion.
Very cool. Very nice. And a little macabre, as is befitting.
As we would expect, nothing less.
Yeah, Dawn's gonna sort of circle around Iona, and he just kind of he gives you a little bit of a fist tap on your shoulder and say, "Wow, good job. Looks beautiful." And at first you kind of look at him like, beautiful. Yeah, at first you kind of give him a look like, what?
This is, Iona is aware. This is sort of it's a sort of work in progress for her, but this is what she's got so far.
Well, those of you wishing to partake will find extremely comfortable environs in this place. Yuno is definitely going to take you up on this.
Yeah.
Those Kurdish.
Yuno's like, yeah, I got this giant room over here, and he's going to kind of like put his feet up. He's like, too bad it only lasts 24 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cracking out there too.
Towards the dinner hour, you all can smell a savory, brew somewhere on the ship. Eventually, somebody kind of toddles back to your area, and Dawn is spending a lot of time on the top deck, looking at the ocean and observing the crew and that kind of thing. And eventually, you guys kind of get yourself a bowl of groggy brew. It's got chunks of potato and roast beast in there, and it's fine. It's a ration's worth of food, no problem. It's nothing to write home about. And everyone's drinking ale, which is not very strong in alcohol, but it keeps a while. It's kind of like really weak beer, but those of you with parched lips and not wanting botulism are thankful for it. But yeah, the journey seems good. There's a couple of hours during the day that the seas get a little choppy, but then it starts to calm, and it's not too long before the sky goes from a bright blue to the sun grows low in the sky, and ribbons of orange and pink start to streak the sky. That Iona, you hear a message in your head.
Okay.
Hello, sister. Jolly good to send you a message. Had a bit of free time. Thought I might reach out and say hello. Wondering how you are, where you are. I'm on my way east. Dead Marsh, here I come. And that's it.
Okay, I can never remember how many words you get with sending.
25.
Okay, 20. Alright. So I'm going to say... I'm going to write it out so I know how many words, so...
Yes, if you are wrong, I will throw a meteor down on your character.
No,
Real
she
lackadaisical with...
figure out exactly how many words.
I'm real lackadaisical with, like, you know, monsters and stats, but when it comes to sending, I'm really a stickler for the words being right. Kidding, of course. Oh, wow. I haven't looked at the chat in a while. Yeah. How many times did we watch Travis and Laura painstakingly count on their fingers for when Jester did sending? I feel like it'd be really cool if they did that in the show where she's doing a sending message and you see Ford counting on his fingers.
Well, Travis just started automatically doing it no matter who was doing sending. Like, he started doing it in campaign 3 as well. It's just like,
Yeah.
he's like, this is my responsibility, counting the words.
No, I'm getting this thing to...
Well, let's see. While you're busy counting,
No,
let's
I've got
have
it.
everybody...
I've got it.
Oh, you got it? Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I got it. So I'm saying, heading to Brackford, myself and companions well, wishing all success in Dead Marsh. Letter awaits at usual dead drop. Wrote to grandmother with detail of Aura. Just so that he knows I've done that, because I don't want that to be a surprise. Not that I would have provided her with a return address.
Right.
I mean, she would probably eventually figure out, maybe, that the Crown Collector's hang at Stonehelm Keep, but I don't know. I don't know this woman very well. But yeah, that's my message back.
Okay. There's no response. But obviously you feel that your response went through. And, you know, as you're kind of... This is happening as you sort of are walking along we'll say the top deck, just kind of glancing at the sea. You see one of the sailors. He's kind of like he's got like long black hair, real striking cheekbones. He's wearing a sort of black and white striped top shirt, and it's tattered. He has a blue vest over that. That's also tattered. And he's wearing kind of like tattered canvas white pants, barefoot. He's got a length of rope in his hand with a grappling hook tied to the end of it. And he sees you approaching, and he says, "What do you think, Iona?" And just instinctively, you kind of look at him with this not really, unrecognizable expression, and he just sort of goes, "Oh, sorry," and poof, he changes back into Daunt, and he throws this grappling hook up in the air. It catches on a rope above, and he sort of like puts his weight to it. He goes, "I'm getting pretty good at this," and he just sort of pulls the rope back, coils it up, puts it in his pack, and leans on the rail. And you just kind of catch him with the sun behind him, kind of looking at you with this expression. So, how are you feeling? Seem to be taking the seas rather well.
It is not as difficult to adjust as I thought it would be.
And he's just kind of regards the sunset and kind of looks back at you and says, "You know, it is not too forward for me to say. The sunlight at this hour, it really brings out the orange in your hair." And he kind of reaches his hand out a little. He kind of is a little hesitant because it seems like I'm going to have him roll insight on... Yeah, he got pretty good. He's going to kind of wait for like a body language consent to get closer to you. Seems like he's trying to be respectful.
Yeah, I mean, Iona's sort of body language response is complicated. It is intensely flattering that he is, sort of romancing her in a way that she's not been romanced before. No, not heavily romancing, but there's moments. But Iona is, first of all, aware of herself. She is in a limbo with her goddess, and her goddess is not a safe goddess. Mm-hmm. And you can see, like Dawn, he's an easy person to be with as a team member. He is, and also he's doing this romance with her, not romance, capital R romance, but elements of romance, which is new for her, but at the same time she is aware of his own position as a warlock. She doesn't know why he's made this deal for power, but she knows that it could have all kinds of strings attached. So it is complicated for her. And also and as much as he's always been pleasant with her, there's still that echo in her head of Ravish, who she's no longer, and she trusts more of saying that Dawn was power hungry, and it's just, he has nice eyes. What's behind those eyes? She can see him as a companion, but she is still, as she said before, aware that this could be a bad idea.
And as your emotions are sort of subtly wafting from awkwardness to distrust to exhilaration, he steps forward and he puts a hand on your hand, and you see him close his eyes and a little glow under his eyelids and you feel that you've had your thoughts read before. You know how deep that spell can go. But you feel it's very surface. He's just trying to get a vibe from you, and he gets it. And where his hand is, you feel this warmth that you don't feel because you don't touch people that often. There's not a lot of contact. So the warmth is somewhat unexpected, but on the cool seas is a little welcome. And he just says, "I can feel the conflict in you. It's like mine. Forces beyond our understanding, twisting our fate. I want to get away from it all too. I can feel that's in you. Like, you're not sure if what you've been taught is real, and what you've been taught is not always nice. I think that's why I like you, Iona." And he slides his hand up your forearm just a bit and says, "I like that I found the Crown Collectors again. That we have this chance to know each other. I don't know if I would have wanted to stay quite as long as I have if I didn't meet you." And you see in his eyes, he moves closer. And he goes in for a kiss.
And Iona just sort of manages to... The thing is, she manages to stop him, but not even like with a physicality. It's just that she manages to turn her head, but as he moves forward, it doesn't quite connect, and instead they've just sort of got their heads pressed together. And it manages to be sort of intimate without, being a kiss. And she says, as a friend and an ally, I like you, but this could be such a bad idea.
He kind of rests his forehead on your forehead. He keeps his eyes closed, and he says, yeah, but sometimes the bad ideas are the fun ones. And he kind of gives your hand a little squeeze and pulls away slightly and opens his eyes, and those golden eyes of his, it's almost like they glow a little around the iris, and that warmth around his hand intensifies just slightly. And he just kind of gives you one last smile of, I'm taking your hint. And he backs off. He takes one last look at the sunset, and he's going to turn away, and looks like he's going to make his way down to the hold.
Okay, I am freaking out a little, so I am going to speak out. I am going to have my first ever attempt in Iona's 38-ish years of life at girl talk, and I locate Maven.
Hey, how are you? She's reading a book or something, just hanging out. What's up?
And I imply that I need Maven to come with me into the mansion so that we're even more secluded, and into my room in the mansion so that we're even more secluded.
Oh my god, everybody shut up for girl talk.
She's excited. She doesn't know what's going on, but she's
so excited. I'm so excited for this.
This is the bit where we sit on Iona's bed, and Iona's and Iona explains the situation with Dawn, and explains the reasons why she thinks this is a bad idea. And then, and Iona just looks at Maven and she says that firstly she knows there are people enter into Warlock Pacts for all kinds of reasons. And she doesn't know, and she also doesn't know what the consequences of Dawn's pact will be. She's also, she also explains, how she trusts Kravish. Kravish was one of the, aside from her brother, one of the first people, the first non-family member that she ever actually, one of the first family members she ever felt she could trust. And if he says that Dawn is power hungry, then she believes that, even though she's yet to really see it in Dawn's behavior, and she's worried that the other shoe would drop eventually. She believes that time with Dawn could be fun and romantic and all of that. It could be a really bad idea when the other shoe drops. And this is the degree to, you've not met Iona when early on, when she didn't trust anyone really. But the more she talks, the more you realize the degree to which her upbringing means that she has analyzed every interaction around her to just the nth degree because she had to. and she is considered so many angles. And then once she finishes it up, she just says, you're in love, and that is beautiful and wonderful, and I have this ridiculous idea.
Okay.
That if I were not, and then she just sort of gestures to where her holy symbol is hanging.
Yeah.
Somehow, and then there would be someone who is just good, and we talk and we have things in common, and my brother writes poetry. He's incredibly good at it. And he gives me these other poetry books, Elven poets, and they are beautiful, and maybe there's someone else who reads that as well, or loves history, and maybe that I meet someone and they are just good.
Yeah.
But then if they knew what I had been in the past, that good person would change their mind. Then that would be me causing the other shoe to drop.
Maybe it's gonna grab both hands and look you in the face and say, I like to think of myself as a pretty good person. And knowing who you are and what you've done has never changed the fact that I also think that you are a good person. I don't think, and if who you are or who you were or what you're trying to change about yourself, if that person that you want to be with doesn't see past that, can't see who you actually are, they're not worth your time. And also, if you like Dawn and you want to see where this goes, babe, just do it. It's okay. You're allowed to do things without thinking every possibility and aspect through every single time. Trust me. In there. And if you like him and you think he's cute, I mean, he can be anything you wanted. Literally. He can literally be anything you want. So, if you like him and you think he's fun and you like his attitude and you want to hang out with him and see if there's something there, then do it. It can be scary. Every once in a while, you kind of just gotta take the leap. You're brave enough for that. And she'll wink at you. Excuse me.
And I'm going to say sort of, look at you and say, look, Dawn is, he's handsome, he's fun to be with, he has the charisma which many warlocks have, he has all of that, and the thing is, she just doesn't know if she can, with all of that, she doesn't feel she can feel secure enough in him for something that lasts, and you realize that Iona has actually got this. When she talks about this theoretical person who's just good, it is the hope of something that lasts. And, she sort of says, she just says, look, I've had people for one night at a time, and that was it. And sometimes I would have the same person again for a singular night later. There would be no connection. That was, it was a small town. You couldn't exactly have a completely different person every time, but it was known. There was no expectation. Perhaps I could have fun with Dawn. Perhaps I could, but am I not then just being what I was before? Because I have changed, and I like that I continue to change in spite of it all.
So, do you think that he only wants to be together for a short period? Or do we think that he wants something more?
I think he might want something, but I don't know if I can rest easy on something that lasts with Daunt.
Okay. You're in a pickle, my friend.
Yes, well, this is why I went to the someone who's in a committed relationship.
Yeah.
Where are you guys, by the way?
We're on Iona's room, in the mansion, in
Okay.
his cabin, and we
are down the road.
So you can hear footsteps approach your room, and kind of push your door open, and you see Yuno, and he kind of steps in. And he goes, "Oh, I'm sorry. I don't mean to be interrupting something. Something's going on up top, and you guys probably can't hear it because we're in here. And you notice now." That you guys have been down here talking for at least an hour and a half. Like, you guys have been going back and forth and twirling your legs and braiding each other's hair, but a significant amount of time. Yeah, significant amount of time has passed where you guys are the only one.
And Maven has like quite nice braids in her hair, and you realize that. I mean, Levin's hair was cut shorter by Ara, but you realise that the way that he had like little braids in his hair, she's got like a longer version of that, and you realise it's because the twins braid each other's hair. So Iona was just like defaulted to the braids. Luckily, it's quite nice, but she is just defaulted to like the braids that she knows while she's successfully having girl fought.
Yeah.
100%.
And
so it's fine.
And you made friendships for each other.
Absolutely.
At a boondoggle. No, you guys, just instantly can smell the estrogen in the room, and he's just like, okay, just want to let you know, and he leaves.
He's like, oh god, I gotta go.
Yeah.
Oh no.
I forgot something upstairs.
Anywhere else.
But as you hit
continue
top
the
deck,
conversation later. Let's go.
The first thing that hits you when you pull out of your, if you step out of the mansion, is footsteps stomping all over the place above you, which is the top deck, and you notice there that once you emerge from your, I believe that you said the mansion is in Kervish's room. Kervish is no longer there. Nobody really is below deck anymore. And as you rise to the surface level, you notice now that there's this fog that has rolled in. Hurried steps, hushed tones, and a lot of scurrying around, pulling ropes. It looks like they're maybe slowing the ship. And Maven, you catch Kervish, she's at the railing. Joins them. Baranor is up there. Luna's up there. Koza is now up there. You hear up in the crow's nest, which is like a bucket seat way at the top of the mast. Sails on the horizon. And you hear Lieutenant Ana Castillo shouting orders. You lot, there be a sail against the moonlight. Straighten your shirts. Ready the ropes. The captain approaches. Port side, man the rail hooks. Double lash. And she scales the railing above where you guys are all standing and kind of does this little cartwheel down the stairs and looks over the edge behind the ship. And you all can now see a faint top of a set of sails, very faint. It's difficult. It's pitch black, by the way. There's very, very little moonlight. There's kind of a crescent moon going on right now, and it's difficult to make out any features. All you see is the very tops of a set of sails. Doesn't look like an immense ship. And Lieutenant Castillo is going to approach your group and say, "A word with you before we receive. You adventurers tend to be quick with the throwing knives. And she looks at Baranor and firebolts and looks at Yuno. When you see him, remember who he is, not for what he is. For the captain does not suffer side eyes of judgment. He has served his duty to emperor and country for 120 years. Remember that when you meet him. His kind, well, their connection to the captain has long been severed, and with it his allegiance to them. He serves only Empire and his heart now. Understood?
Understood.
Understood.
I need everybody in the party to make a perception check.
Okay.
And I'm going to roll a big one for the ship's crew. And I drop my d20. Awesome. Hey, natural 20.
I'm going to guidance myself.
I am going to use my heroic inspiration and guidance myself to repeat that roll.
Okay, and a quick question, point of order. Does anybody have a hard out at 6?
No.
Or are we good to go? Are we good to go like a half hour later?
Oh. I will push through, but for D&D, I will push through.
Yeah, you can wait. I got a 24 total.
Okay.
I can't and Steph can't, so.
Okay, that's okay. You Baranor, Luna, and Maven accidentally fell over the side and washed out to sea.
Bummer.
All right. So, those of you who got over a 20 with perception, notice that the ship that's kind of rolling through the fog now that the lieutenant has slowed the ship's movement to receive this craft. It was deceptively larger than you think. And those of you who were paying attention when she said that the captain had his own little sloop, while that may not ring true as to an exact size in your mind, you imagine it's probably not a giant ship. I mean, he's got to come aboard this one. And this ship looks strangely larger than a small ship. It might even be larger than the Kestral. And the sails are not blue or gold or white, but they look green.
Okay.
Okay.
And as you you start to notice an uneasiness around amongst the party, amongst the crew, as they all kind of look at each other like, "That's not the captain's ship. Who is that?" That's when you all hear this huge crack. This crack sound, almost like an explosion. And those of you on the rails hear this whizzing noise. It sails over your head. Kravish, I need you to make a dexterity saving throw. Don't worry, the DC is low.
24.
24, you dive out of the way. You can feel the wind of some large, heavy object sailing through the air uncomfortably close to your head. It sails over your head, over the bow of the ship, and disappears into the darkness where you all hear this sploosh far away. You hear, "Cannon fire! Ready the weapons!" And you see... as I get this ready, you see a ship of tall mast begin to emerge from the fog, and what you see is, oh, I'm getting it. I'm sure you all can agree where this is going. There we go. You see a ship with green sails and a golden cross on each sail. A black flag with skull and bones trails behind it. The ship gains in speed. The entire crew erupts into chatter. It's the Verdant Cross! I need everybody to roll initiative as I bring you all to a cool-ass freaking map. This craft sidles up next to you. Almost 5 to 10 feet away, and begins to match your speed. Lieutenant Castillo leaps into action. Full sail! Get us out of here! Man the guns! Stoke the powder! Fire! Fire! And right away, 4 of these cannons shoot. Boom! 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 And you see wood and splinters explode on the ship beyond. And let me just have everybody go ahead and roll. Let's see, where's our turn order at? I'm gonna have to keep your numbers in your head. I have to clear everything. Yes, clear. Okay, all right. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and give everybody turns that needs them. I'll let you guys roll your initiative, change your numbers, and then once we're all set, we'll get everyone's initiative. I know Baranor and Koza both have trouble getting your minis on the map.
Yep.
And yeah, my computer decides now to basically crap out. Okay, it looks like a lot of people have to have a hard out, so that's fine. That's fine. We can end at 6. So we'll just pick up mid-ship battle. That's just fine. I'm trying to do like 4 things with this stupid. Trying to do 50 things on a computer that's in desperate need of replacement, but that's okay. All right. Looks like everybody is having trouble getting on the board, except for Iona and Kravish. Let me just do this. Kravish, you're not the right size. There you go. Let's do this. Let's get Maven on the board. Maven, you're too big. There you go. We'll have you over here. We'll put Koza right here. No, he's not going to stay there. He's turned traitor. Sundancer is also here. He's just kind of been flying a lot. But we'll put him on the board and see if you want to have him join. We'll put him up here. He's in mid-flight. Baranor, let's get Baranor.
Benner is in the ring.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm sure. Let's put Daunt on there. Yeah. Let's turn him around though. There we go. Actually, he's going to be kind of up here by Koza for the moment. And where's Yuno? And Luna as well, or is she still seasick? I'm guessing she's out. Okay. Put her next to you. And let's shrink Yuno down a bit. Yuno's going to be way back here. And alright, let's start giving everybody turns. Turn for Yuno. Turn for Baranor.
Yep.
Turn for... we need to get Maven on the field. Let's put her... Let's turn her around. Boop. Okay. Maven needs a turn. I don't think Koza has one up there yet. Koza, what'd you get?
Natural 1.
A what?
Then I rolled a natural 1.
Oh no!
For
So what is that for a 2?
That's a 2.
Your initiative is a 2. Good lord!
No, my initiative is a 1.
Oh yeah, that sucks. Okay, all right. Yuno got a dirty 20. Let's see who else. Okay. All right. Let me just get one of my little dudes on the map, and we can get started. I've been working behind the scenes trying to make all these minis. I guess it's thankful that we don't have a lot of time for battle because I didn't get them all done.
looks like Maven's was a 28,
Okay. 1 second.
but she can't put it on there.
Yeah. Okay, come on. There we go. Let's do this guy. Oh, why can't I do more than one? That sucks. Gotta do these one at a time.
Oh no.
Oh no. Way to kill the freaking flow. The hell? I just freaking crashed my whole damn thing. God, I hate this computer. Anyways, alright. I no longer can see roll 20. Who's first?
I'm pretty sure Maven is.
If Maven had 28, then she's first, and I'm second.
Well, what I can see is the soundtrack machine, so I will put on Pirates of the Caribbean because it's cool. Come on now. God. I should have got a new computer for Christmas. All right. So, who got the highest? Who got above a 20?
Pretty
Help me
sure
out.
Maven was highest.
Okay.
Probably me.
All right, so at this moment, Maven, there are crew members on 2 crew members, one on each side of each of these cannons. So obviously, if one of the spaces has a cannon in it, it's going to be difficult terrain. I don't care if you try to step over it or on it. I'm just letting you know if there's a place where you're touching part of the cannon, it's going to be difficult terrain. It looks like everybody on this side of the ship is reloading their cannons. Obviously, that takes quite a bit of time. So the other ship of the Verdant Cross is going to fire a cannon. I need. Why doesn't somebody roll a d6? Let's see who gets to be the lucky one to make a dodge to get the hell out of the way.
Sorry, you cut out a little. Was that somebody or everybody?
Somebody roll a d6. Doesn't matter who.
I just rolled a 6.
All right.
Also rolled a 6.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
Good for me.
Well, guess what? I need Maven to roll a dexterity saving throw. That's who I was thinking about shooting at anyway.
Dexterity saving throw.
Yeesh.
See if we can keep it under triple digits.
I like the high ones.
21.
21, yeah. So you see, where are you at? You're over by Karish, ain't you? Yeah, okay. Karish's big, giant, colorful bars are in the way. So this guy right here, he steps over to his cannon and lights a fuse and fires directly at you. So with your keen dexterity, you flip out of the way just in time to kind of anticipate this, because you're too close to really dodge a cannonball. But you're able to anticipate it. You see where it's pointing. You flip out of the way, and boom! It sails by you. You can almost feel the rushing wind of this large lead ball as it careens past you and impacts into the deck of the ship, sending splinters and 3 or 4 sailors on the other side of the deck flying in all directions. Let's descend this because I guarantee you these guys are not going to roll higher than you. Oops, I just deleted it. God damn it. There we go. And the pirates get a 13. Maven, what was yours again? You still have
28.
a 0. 28. Gotcha. Okay. All right. We are good to go. Here we go. Maven, they are about... The closest one to you is 20 feet, and you have to cross over the deck of the ship. So it's up to you what you want to do.
Oh my god. I would like to cut this person off for being a dickhead, but also I would like to run up to the closest person. I'm sure I have enough movement. And just hit them about the facial regions.
Okay. Yeah, you can use your movement, and I'll just take an acrobatics check. I'm not expecting anything less of a natural one would fail as you leap over the deck into the next ship, and you can literally pick whoever you want.
23.
These 4 people. Yeah, no problem.
Whoever is looking like they're going to start firing cannonballs, I want to go after that person.
It would be this lady next.
Okay, I literally can't. I'm driving. I can't see.
Okay. Gotcha. I'll put you next to her. Boom, there
Thank
she
you.
goes. She does a running double backflip over the deck. Kervish, your heart flutters. She lands 3-point landing right next to this woman who is now drawing 2 cutlasses from her belt.
Cute. And she's going to hit her in the face.
Nice.
Okay. And there's a... Okay. And then... That'll be 25 and 20.
All right. So this person's going to catch your hands with her cutlasses and perform the parry action, and she's going to reduce that attack by 5 for each one. What did you say the first one was?
25.
25. Okay, the first one hits.
And then 20. Dirty 20 was the second.
Yeah, she reduces both of those by 5, and the first one definitely hits, so go ahead and roll damage. The second one she catches with the back of her cutlass and kind of flips your hand away, and she kind of snarls you with a "arr," and you get really annoyed.
Gross. That'll be 14 points of damage.
All right.
And then I will just take the unarmed strikes for my bonus action as well.
Okay.
So 24 and 31.
Yeah, both hit.
Oh, 31 was a natural 20.
All right.
Yay. Okay. So it'll be 8 for the first one. And then big money, no whammies.
I forgot to add Daunt. Let's put Daunt in the game. Oh, damn. He rolled crazy high. Sorry who he's bumping out. Yeah.
9. What's 18 plus 6? I don't add
24.
24.
24.
So it'll be 24. It'll be like
All right.
8 for the first one, and then 24 for the second one. And that'll be
All right. On your turn, several more creatures. I only have 2 minis right now, but I'll have more next time, promise. Arrive from around the deck. It looks like they're kind of converging on your position. This woman looks badly beaten. In fact, she's going to drop to one knee. You hit her so hard that she basically dropped one of her swords. I'll say that.
Wow, mother! firecracker.
Yeah.
Hurts, don't it? You don't need that kidney. That's okay.
Pirates get in a lot of fist fights, but never with such exacting precision.
Not with somebody that knows what they're doing.
Yeah. Right.
We've never had to trade blows with a freight train.
Right.
Your first mistake was getting into a fist fight with a monk.
Yeah. All right. So, does that end your turn?
Yep, that'll be it.
Okay. Yeah, so let's see. How much space is this? Perfect. So, Iona, I need you to make a dexterity saving throw as this person right here with the cannon is shooting, and Baranor and Luna also need to make dexterity saving throws.
Oh, that's an 11.
An 11. Baranor, good. Roll good for Luna. Please don't make me shoot a dog with a freaking cannon. Oh. Oh.
I mean,
Why did you do that?
As far as dogs go.
All right. So here's the deal. This thing fires, and Baranor, you dive out of the way, and I'm going to say that you're able to sort of see that Luna doesn't even see this coming. She doesn't know how cannons work. She doesn't know to anticipate it. You watch this lady put like a lit torch on the top of this cannon, and you know it's pointed right at Luna. So you dive, and not only do you dive out of the way, but you grab Luna and pull her out of the way just as the railing explodes with this cannon fire. And Iona, you see this coming too, but you stumble. Your foot catches in the grate beneath you, and you're like, shit, it's gonna hit me. There's nothing I can do. When suddenly you feel Dawn scale all the way across this deck and grab you and pull you to the side. And dive, hit both of you, hit the deck, and before you have a chance to really understand what's going on, he gets up, he shoots you a wink, he pulls a rapier from his hip, and he pulls from his other hip. You see him grab a rope and a grappling hook. He says, "Don't worry, I'll get that guy," and he twirls it in his hand, throws the grappling hook up into the air. You'll see that it catches one of the ropes dangling from the green sails. He pulls himself up to the railing. He takes a running start and swings across the gap between the ships and lands directly in front of this sailor here. And you see from across, as you climb back up to the rail where it's now smoking with this huge hole, you watch as Daunt takes his rapier and stabs this guy right through the heart. He pulls his arms up to the blade, but there's no use. You see blood trickle, and you see his body go limp. As Daunt stands there, you see his hand start to glow black and green, swirling with eldritch energy. His eyes have gone green, and he regards the rest of the deck. Let's show him what it means to cross the Crown Collectors. And that is where we are going to end the session for today.
Yay! This will be fun.
Tomorrow, next session with Iona.
Yes. Yeah, I'm just going to keep the turn order right where it's at. And over the 2 weeks, I'm going to swap out the minis of the bad guys because I got a more diverse crew than that. Yeah. Woohoo! Sea battle, everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. A former Navy dude, this session, I'm super here for it. If I could get away with it, I would just have a Black Flag campaign. Like, that sounds like so much fun to me. Yeah.
I mean, I'm also being hit with nostalgia because I used to be in an orchestra and we did play this. So I'm getting, like, violin fingering that, like, coming back to me from like a decade ago.
I promised you no trauma. I can't promise that next session, but I promised it for this one for sure.
Okay.
You get one.
Okay, fine. Okay, fine. I guess that you can this time.
Yeah. That was so much fun, guys. That was really great. I had a really good time.
Yeah.
You guys are awesome. This was a really great first session back. Welcome back to D&D, everybody. This is really fun. And I'm glad that everyone had a relatively nice holiday. It's great. It's great to be back. Honestly, I missed this. I hate it when we have to take a month off, but I do know that sometimes it's necessary. So, let's see. It looks like in 2 weeks it will be the 24th of January.
Really?
Yeah. Where's this year going?
Last year, I remember January taking like 75 years to go.
Yeah.
It's the winter. It's because we live in a place where that has terrible long winters,
I mean,
Do you guys get bad winters over there in Washington?
no, not where we live.
Not really.
No, it's not even. It does get around freezing most of the time. We don't really get any like storms. There's no real like snowstorms or anything. But it's been a really warm, wet winter.
Yeah, we might get snow in February here or something like that for like
we might get like 1 or 2 days. Yeah.
occasionally a bad snowstorm will come through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it doesn't stick around for more than, I don't know. The longest one was like, what, 2 weeks?
Yeah. Huh. Well, I live in upstate New York, and it snows like a bastard out here.
Yeah.
We
no, we don't have
snow
that.
already, and we usually don't really get that until like February.
Yeah.
Really?
Not a lot, but
Like,
I
some.
mean, it didn't get cold until just recently, so at this rate, we're not going to get snow until like March. So,
Yeah, March is our March is kind of an illusion. It's a sort of a very evil month for us because it starts to get warm, like spring is coming, and then it hits us with one last horrendous blizzard.
yeah.
Spring of deception, I see.
Yeah, that's how we get it. So, anyway, yeah, that was a lot of fun. I really can't wait to play out the rest of this little mini arc on the water. And you know, this was a really great role play session too. That was a lot of fun to watch.
We don't have a caduceus to the entire naval combat.
Yeah, that's okay.
I just remember
We'll
Matt
make do.
tearing up the entire section of naval combat that he had spent like
Well,
the entire week preparing for.
What was the spell he used? Was it tidal wave or was
Tidal
it create
wave
or destroy water or
that.
something?
Yeah,
He was able to just he just washed over the bad guy's ship and it just sank.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
That is not the first or last time that they had outsmarted Matt. Nothing will beat Jester's muffins with or cupcakes with the head.
Well, have
Oh
you
my
seen
God.
The wedding?
No, I haven't. Don't say anything.
You watch
Yeah.
it. It's really good.
Yeah, actually, I was watching it earlier today just because I wanted to have the maximum cognitive dissonance from having finished like the Mighty Nine on like the show and then to watch the wedding. Just because that way I can see Essex going from like that to being like, oh yeah, I know what I'm taking care of next date night.
Yeah.
We got to see the-
So good. So good.
Yeah.
yeah, they had it.
All right, folks. Well, yeah, I can't wait for the show to see the show ending. I know where it's going. We all know where it's going, but at the same time, we kind of don't. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So, all right, folks. Well, I'm heading off. I can't wait to play again. But everybody, have a good 2 weeks off. Okay.
We'll do.
Okay, good
All
night.
right.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.